What is the best item in the Binding of Isaac to solo an entire run with? Have you ever picked up Mom's Knife and just felt like you can win an entire run with just that item alone? Well, today we're gonna look at that and analyze every single item in the Binding of Isaac as if you only get one item. Isaac is a game all about stacking countless amounts of items on top of each other to get one truly powerful final build. So how many items can truly be strong enough to actually win a run reasonably? A lot of the higher tier items in this list truly did surprise me, and I think it might surprise you too. So if you like this unique list, make sure you subscribe and leave a like. It really would help me out a lot. And comment down below what items you think should be in the top tiers. Enjoy the video. Welcome to the stream, everybody. We are going to be talking about some more Mother Trucking Isaac today, and we're going to see which items today are the best at beating a typical chest run as if they're the only item you have in the entire game. There's not going to be many. That's why I think we're going to be able to do this relatively easily in one stream. I'm going to get y'all in chat to help me figure out what would be best to put into the list, and we'll go from there. But yeah, it should be fun. We are not considering item synergies. It is as if that is the only item you get. For my rule set on item lists, I typically allow pills and cards and stuff, as well as trinkets. If you're okay with that, if you're not okay with that, whatever. Either way, I don't think the list would be that different, even if you don't count those anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I think there'll be a lot of maybes. There's gonna be way more items that are just not even on the list. So let's get into it. Dr. Fetus is definitely doable. I think it's just pretty plainly doable. It would be hard. Like, this is definitely lower end of the tier, because Epic Fetus is also going in this tier, and Epic Fetus is just a lot better. I don't think it's a maybe, though. I think it's definitely just doable. The baseline that we're going for with doable tier is it possible on a basic Isaac run to beat a chest run with this item alone? That's the criteria, right? You can beat a chest run with just Dr. Fetus. I think that makes sense. All right, Mom's Knife is definitely doable, no question. It could even potentially be top 3. I'm willing to maybe even put it in top 3 already, because I think it's like pretty guaranteed to be in top 3, right? I think Spirit Sword and Knife are definitely gonna be in top 3. On base pickup, this is very noticeable, because even when you have items, no matter what point you pick this up, the moment you pick it up, you are basically one-shotting every single basic boss in the game. And if we are ranking based on just a normal chest run, like the final boss is Blue Baby, how the hell do you lose with Knife? Like, actually. Okay, granted, in an itemless run, of course you could still lose. It's still hard. Like, even with Knife, it's still like, you could definitely still lose. But you do so much damage that I'd say it's like 50-50. To say that an itemless run is 50-50 whether you win or lose, that's pretty incredible. So I think it's definitely deserving of top 3. I do think you can still get whittled down in rooms with Knife, but I just think for all the bosses in a basic chest run, Knife has it, man. Knife really has it. It has the damage. It doesn't need any other synergies. In fact, that's legitimately what makes Knife weaker in the all items list. I mean, it's still insane tier in the all items list, but the fact that it overrides so many things and it doesn't synergize with that many things is what makes it so much lower in the tier, because its end game is just not as strong, especially into the, you know, the big room final bosses. Again, if we are considering chest run, then yeah, Mom's Knife is incredible. So Brimstone's where it gets a little interesting. I think Brimstone is our first maybe. Because let me put it this way, right? Do I think it would be easy? No, not at all. I actually think it would be pretty difficult, because the damage on Brim is not nearly as explosive as Knife. It's not even close. Brim does rely a good bit on items. That being said, I've attempted a Azazel itemless. I can consistently make it to Womb, and I've even made it to Cathedral a few times as Azazel. And that's with low range Brim. Imagine full range Brim, right? That being said, I think Azazel has higher damage, because yeah, Brimstone doesn't give a damage up. Azazel does have higher starting damage, which is still relevant, but I think the higher range can kind of mitigate that a little bit. I think if you give it enough attempts, you could actually do it with Brimstone. But I do think it's a maybe. I think Dr. Fetus is more likely, honestly, because I think Dr. Fetus's damage up at base is better than Brimstone's. Items are much different to rank in this format, because like items like Mom's Knife and Dr. Fetus, while not having, like, they have a lot of overriding issues and they're great at base, but yeah, the moment you start picking up more items, they become weaker. And it's the opposite for Brimstone. Brimstone only becomes stronger the more items you pick up. So of course Brimstone's gonna be ranked lower than these two, because Brimstone relies a lot on your typical item loadouts and synergies and stuff. But these items are just really strong at base. I think Brimstone is a maybe, though. I'll say it, unless y'all think otherwise. I think Brimstone, you could do it. It'd be hard. don't get me wrong, it would definitely be hard. Way harder than the doable tier items are. But I think it's possible. Like, I think your rooms are simple enough. You know, you still have full beam, piercing, spectral. You know, your rooms are easy enough. I think the bosses are the hardest part. But honestly, if you get enough, like, soul hearts, I think it's doable. I really, really do. Found out the hard way that Dr. Fetus scales badly in the late game without damage ups. I mean, yeah, every item does. It's a possibility maybe I'm overrating Dr. Fetus. Do more people in chat think Dr. Fetus is more of a maybe? I know in Flash Isaac it was definitely so free to solo the entire game with Dr. Fetus. But yeah, Dr. Fetus changed it a lot for Rebirth. But yeah, anyway, I think Brimstone is a fair maybe. This is fine. I wonder if money equals power could give enough damage if you get lucky enough with money. I feel like it's a maybe, unironically. I mean, hell, like, let's talk about it, right? How much damage do you get if you get to 99 coins? You're not buying any items in the run, so you're probably going to make 99 coins. Well, you don't buy items. You probably will be buying, like, soul hearts and stuff from shops. But, again, you're probably going to get to max money. What's the max damage you get from money equals power? I actually don't know. The damage is what we need. Like, I think what we're going to see in this list is damage output is the most important here at base. Ipecac is definitely doable. Just flat out doable. I'd say better than Dr. Fetus. It gives you an insane damage multiplier. I actually could even see the argument for Ipecac being top 3, as crazy as that is. I don't know. Like, to Ipecac, like, I don't exactly know how it works. The fact that Ipecac is giving you just, like, all the damage you need as well. I mean, it's a multiplier, right? So obviously getting more damage would help even more. And this run is actually increasing the damage, like, better than something like Dr. or Epic Fetus. I don't know. Ipecac is plus 40. It's kind of crazy. I could actually see Ipecac, like, being comparable to Mom's Knife, honestly. Is that a crazy take? Let's put it there for now, because I do think it's quite a bit better than Dr. Fetus. But obviously we could always move it down. PhD and false PhD. To be fair, we are allowing pills, so fair enough, honestly. You know what? Fair enough. Let's put it in maybe. For my rule set, pills are good, and being able to guarantee, especially false PhD. Actually, false PhD is probably just doable, no? It actually probably is. If pills are allowed, then yeah. That being said, I do still think it's a maybe for base PhD, because obviously there's no damage up pill. Obviously you'll get more tears ups and balls of steel, which are really, really useful. Pretty flies are also good for protection, especially going into like Mom's Heart, Isaac, and Blue Baby fights. I think it's just a maybe. Like, flat out, it's a maybe. PhD is a spicy one. I would say it's definitely doable, but you need good luck. Yeah, you definitely need a lot of RNG for PhD. That being said, does that make PhD not enough? Maybe not. I think, yeah, I'll put it top of fall short. Because when I think about it, it is actually just tears. I don't think that's enough. Yeah, I don't think that'll be enough. Hear me out, Blue Candle. You're actually probably right, Pedro. Where is Blue Candle? I think that's reasonable. Honestly, is that doable? I feel like that's more doable than Brim. Blue Candle's really good into just a chest run. It does solid damage throughout the entire run. Yeah, I don't know, I just think it's good, like flat out. Not as good into big room bosses for sure, but if we're just talking about a chest run, yeah, I think definitely. Anyway, let's go to Epic Fetus. Am I crazy to say Ipecac feels stronger than Epic Fetus in this specific list? Because like, Ipecac doesn't have any of its anti-synergies pulling it down. Right? That was one of the reasons why Ipecac went down a tier in the all items list. You're not dealing with any anti-synergies, so you're not going to get like self-damaging stuff. And it just gives a lot of damage. Can I get VK or anybody in chat to like damage test this for me? What is the DPS difference between Ipecac, Epic Fetus, and Dr. Fetus? Also, yeah, good point, Chad. Ipecac's poison does a lot too. Actually, kind of true. In a list where we have literally nothing, I know it sounds like a meme, but like the poison status effect, valid enough, honestly. Victor really ran up. 4.34 for Ipecac, 4.1 for Dr. Fetus, and 3.61 for Epic Fetus DPS-wise. That makes sense. So yeah, I was right. Ipecac is the highest. Yeah, I think Ipecac being like higher than all of them makes sense. Even though Epic Fetus's DPS is lower than Dr. Fetus's, Epic Fetus's shot is way easier to hit. In a realistic scenario, I think their DPS is a lot more similar than it may seem. Because obviously when you're testing DPS, you test it on a testing dummy, which is stationary. Against moving enemies, it's a lot easier to miss your Dr. Fetus shots. Epic Fetus, you basically never miss. And also important to note that it's easier to skip through rooms with Epic Fetus. So I think the lesser damage gets made up for by those factors for Epic. There's more to factor in than flat out just damage, right? I think Sacred Heart is definitely at least a maybe. I think that's fair. Would I say it's just flat out doable though? I mean, when I look at Sacred and Brimstone, Sacred's definitely a lot easier than Brimstone. Yeah, I think Sacred's doable. Just flat out doable. Probably low end doable. The fact that I can put Blue Candle above Sacred, unironically, is very funny to me. At least I think Blue Candle's above Sacred. Is that a throw? Sacred does give a Tears down. Important to remember. Sacred, I think, is only a little bit more DPS-wise than something like Magic Mush. But I just think the homing aspect to it helps it enough in terms of reliability into rooms and stuff that, yeah, you could do it. What about Bob's Brain, like, actually? I think that's a maybe, like, actually. Bob's Brain is good. Is Bob's Brain above Brimstone? It actually might be. Bob's Brain, like, let's be real here. Whenever we get Bob's Brain, we're doing lots of damage to those bosses. Also, Tainted Mega is crazy with Isart. I only want the Tears because Isaac Heart in the list equals funny. I think Isaac's Heart might actually be in the list alone, even as Isaac. It's actually possible. How much damage does the Mom's Heart, like, splash thing do? Because, like, you just have to be close enough, right? Invulnerability plus 2 times contact is doable. SR gives you huge contact damage, Mr. Streamer. So how does the contact damage work? Because if you have no orbital, like obviously I know it's great if you have orbitals, but you're not gonna have orbitals. So how do you have contact damage? Isart gives your body contact damage. I didn't even know that. Yeah, if that's the case. I'm hesitant to put it doable though. I don't think it actually goes in doable. I think it's more like a high maybe. I still think it'd be hard, to be honest. I think it'd be harder than Bob's Brain and Brimstone. I need to see the tick damage output. VK or anybody, like if you want to test it for me, do a quick video and then post it in my Discord and I'll react to it on stream. That way we can get a better representation here. This is where my gut is telling me. I think these are easier though. At the very least, I think it's fair enough to put it in maybe. But it's definitely not comparable to these, I think. Red Candle, it's probably at least a maybe. Let's put it here for now. I think Blue Candle in the itemist scenario is quite a bit better than Red Candle, but I think Red Candle still like has similar enough properties and damage output that it could still be feasible. Breath of Life. So shout out to Victor on this one. They did like a million mother fight tests with Breath of Life. And honestly, looking at the timing, I think even in enemy rooms, it's like realistic to like clear rooms with this. It clearly does a lot of damage. I think you're actually one-shotting most rooms with this. Like actually, if you get the timing down and you have red health, keep in mind that you have red health. Like Victor was testing this with like Lost No Mantle, and he almost beat Mother with this thing alone. Like what? I actually wonder, its damage output is definitely higher than probably anything on this list besides Mom's Knife, but it is still harder. I mean, you're literally running into the enemy and you have to time it consistently every time. I think it's definitely at least higher than Blue Candle. That's kind of what my gut is telling me. I think like obviously if you're doing an entire run with it, you're gonna get pretty used to the timing of it too. Let me ask this actually, Victor, since you use this so much in the testing. If you time it against like an enemy tier, does it still work? Or does it have to be on contact with the boss itself or with the enemy, like with their hitbox? Or can you run into like one of It Lives tiers or Isaac's tiers or whatever, and then it'll still activate the beam? I mean, from what I've seen and what I've used of Breath of Life, it's not that hard. It really isn't. I mean, it's hard, don't get me wrong, but like, if you get used to the timing, it's just different, right? Breath of Life 2 shots mom. Is that true, Victor? Get the frick out of here. No way Breath of Life 2 shots mom at base. It's so free if that's the case. What? Okay, I'll put it this way, chat. Even if the timing for Breath of Life is a little bit hard to get used to, the moment you get used to it, it's free. Like, I actually think Breath of Life, once you get used to the timing, and I'm not even saying that I'm used to the timing, because I don't even think I am, not yet. But I think after doing like 3 attempts, I'm winning. After 3 attempts of trying Breath of Life, honestly, oh my god, if it 2 shots mom, it really 2 shots mom. How many hits does it take to beat It Lives? And remember another thing, right? It's still invulnerability. So going into Womb, it's actually like really solid. Because you gotta think about it, right? Like the problem with itemless is Womb. Womb is always the point where the run becomes instantly like so much harder. Because you're taking double damage, you don't have much health. And you can't defend yourself because you don't have the damage output. Even with something like Epic Fetus or Dr. Fetus, you're not one-shotting enemies anymore once you get to Womb. You just won't, not at base damage. So it takes multiple shots with even those items. Whereas with Breath of Life, you're still one-shotting them as long as you time it correctly. And you're invulnerable the moment you do it. That being said, okay, let's react to this on stream. Is this Mazo Mom? I actually don't know if Mazo Mom has more health or not. Either way, it's a harder fight, that's for sure. Come on, chat. How can you see this and not see the Breath of Life? This is Tainted Lost, no mantle. You just kill mom, Mazo Mom, for free. You're not even fighting this mom. Are you kidding me? Come on, dog. It's not close. Oh my god, that damage is crazy. I think it's above Ipecac. The thing with Mom's Knife is that I think its damage at base is enough to protect yourself even in rooms when compared to these other items. Like even into womb, like I think it does enough damage. Like once you get this timing down on Breath of Life, how is its damage not going to carry you? It just takes practice. Like I think it really is just getting the timing down. Tell me that video was not telling. Mazo Mom. Again, I don't even know if Mazo Mom has more health or not, but still, like, what the fudge is this? Literally nuked its health. I'm sorry, I'm dumbstruck. That is crazy how much damage that does. I think it's definitely top 3. Like, hello? Can I see it lives, VK? Can I see it lives? I wanna see how much damage that does. Look, if you're fighting it lives, VK, in that same video, can you test Mom's Knife? Or even in a separate video, that'd be fine. And do a separate link. Because I wanna see the difference in power. That being said, Mom's Knife is probably always above Breath of Life because of what I said before. It's just easier to protect yourself, like into rooms. Directly do the cross light on Mom's heart because it doesn't deal contact damage. I see. It only does that much damage if you get the hard timing to get the 4 cross. The regular easy timing doesn't do as much damage. Hear me out though, Mal. If you miss and get the 1 beam, you're still doing solid damage. Like you gotta remember, in an itemless scenario, and I wanna put this out there right now, Breath of Life is not ranking that high on the all items list because it's an active item. It's probably not even worth risking the timing on a regular run, but on a run where you have literally nothing, that making that your actual damage source is actually pretty good. Like it just is. You have nothing. Keep that in mind. It actually even feels like a waste of time going into womb to keep shooting if you have Breath of Life. That's how crazy this damage is. Breath of Life into rooms is also pretty good though, because the beams stay out for quite a bit and the enemies are going to like track onto you and just run into the beams. New poll. We are going to do Breath of Life. Do you think it's a top 3 contender or doable? I want to see. For now, I'm going to leave it here and we're going to move on. That damage on Breath of Life is crazy. Again, I think like in an itemless scenario, you have to recognize that you probably will just do multiple attempts with even knife. Like even knife or spirit sword, it'll probably take multiple attempts to actually beat it. So like the fact that you lose a few times doesn't really lower an item's ranking on this kind of list. I care more about like after practicing with the item, how realistic is it? And after practicing with Breath of Life, I think it's like pretty damn good. I don't know, man. Bloodlust. So here's the thing with Bloodlust. I think there's just flat out a maybe. What's important to recognize about Bloodlust is that Samson is one of the characters that I tested to beat the game itemless, and Samson starts with lower damage than base Isaac. That's important to note. On a character with a higher starting damage stat, like Isaac, right? And that's the baseline that we're going with maybe and above. I think the extra damage up from just being a regular character makes this maybe a lot stronger. Because Samson still performed pretty well in itemless. He can make it to like womb pretty consistently, but then starts to fall off. I think, to be fair though, womb is still an issue. Do we actually think Magic Mush has enough stats to carry your entire run? In testing, stats are just not enough. Magic Mush is just stats, but it is a lot of stats. I wonder if Crickets is also in that case. Lil Brim is probably... I need to look up Lil Brim on Isaac Wiki. Lil Brimstone. In Repentance, the beam does 3 damage per tick and can strike an enemy up to 8 times. Damn, it got nerfed. What the fudge? Unironically, how much damage does Robo-Baby 2.0 do? It does kind of feel like it does solid damage. Like, if this is your only item, I kind of see it. Am I crazy? And on Blue Baby and stuff, like, you could just leave it on them while you focus on dodging. Tech 0.5, I don't think Tech 0.5 will give you the damage. The reason why I think Robo-Baby 2.0 is feasible at least is because, I mean, it has its own damage, right? Like what is literally what is its flat damage? Because I know how often it shoots. It actually shoots really quick if you just have it on the enemies. And again, in rooms, like it'll pierce through all the enemies. It's really not bad. It almost kind of acts like a higher damaging Ludovico technique. It actually kind of is, isn't it? Because like it has the piercing and everything, and I think it also has Spectral actually. Ludovico is not going. Ludovico is only good enough on Azazel. Like just flat out. I'm sorry. Ludovico on base Isaac is not even close. The reason why Robo-Baby is possible is because it follows its own damage. My gut is telling me Robo-Baby 2.0 is not that bad. Granted, I definitely don't think it's doable, but I think maybe for Robo-Baby 2.0, I think that makes sense. No, it's not buff. The damage went up, but the tick rate is way lower. Yeah, I just noticed that. Just reduced the DPS. I still think it's comparable to Robo-Baby. Let me look up Robo-Baby's damage. 15 damage per second, but keep in mind you need to aim this. Whereas Robo-Baby, you can just keep at the room and it'll shoot on its own. You don't have to try nearly as hard. You just leave it in the room, especially on bosses. Like you just leave Robo-Baby in the general area where it needs to shoot. Unfortunately, it doesn't give me a DPS on Robo-Baby 2.0, but it does shoot quickly, I know. Technology lasers dealing 3.5 damage per shot, but it does shoot really quickly. Just from what I've seen from Robo-Baby 2.0, like in regular runs, I do feel like it kills enemies, not bad. That being said, it probably doesn't do enough damage to beat the bosses. Let's do falls short, but close. Something like this makes a lot more sense. I think that makes more sense. Something like that, yeah. Okay, let's hurry it up a little bit. Godhead, definitely doable. Above Sacred, I think it's above Blue Candle. I even think it's above Dr. Fetus. The aura honestly just does a good amount of damage at base. The aura always does the same amount of damage, and it scales really well for the entire game. Do I actually think it's better than Epic Fetus? Maybe. You just saw a pretty low tier rate. I think this spot is fine. Okay, unironically, how good is Glass Cannon? Glass Cannon charges in one room, no? Is this like actually like doable? How much damage does this do? Probably not doable. I would say maybe. It does a lot of damage. And it charges same room, no? Unless I'm misremembering. Is it one room charge or is it same room charge? I think it's same room charge. It's been a while since I've used this. Single high damaging piercing tier. This is great for room clearing. Travels over obstacles too. So it's spectral and piercing with this shot. It does 10 times Isaac damage plus a flat 10 damage. An additional 1.5 size multiplier. That's a bigger hitbox. Upon taking damage, this item turns into a broken glass cannon. Isaac will lose an additional 2 hearts of health on top of the damage he already took. Legitimately really painful for this list. I wonder if that's enough damage. Yeah, recharge time is 4 seconds. Honestly, I think this is doable. I think it gives you the damage output you need. I mean, it breaks, but then it'll still recharge, like if you take a hit. And guess what? I'm pretty sure it only breaks if you're mid-charge when you get hit. I think. But maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe it does just break no matter what. It's not doable if luck-based items aren't doable. What do you mean, Chad? That doesn't make any sense. Glass Cannon is consistent. Luck is not consistent. You cannot always guarantee luck items. Unless you're making a point based on perfection, in which case, no, because you instant lose perfection for the rest of the run if you get hit. If you take 2 hearts of damage with Glass Cannon, it's not like Glass Cannon goes away forever. You just have to recharge it, and then it's back to normal. And yes, you lose 2 hearts of damage, which is painful, but you could live that. Like, you're gonna get soul hearts, you're gonna get potentially even health up pills. You can live the 2 heart damage that you take, and then just continue on. Now, that being said, actually, you know what? No, I just realized what makes it a maybe. I just realized the problem. Theoretically, if you just never get hit, obviously, this is definitely a doable. But the problem is not that you lose Glass Cannon, because you don't. You don't technically lose Glass Cannon. The problem is that you actually have to clear 3 or 4 rooms without Glass Cannon, because it turns into a 4-room charge active item for you to repair the Glass Cannon when you get hit, and that alone actually makes it quite a bit worse. I actually think that alone makes it like here, maybe even below Isaac's heart. Yeah, that's actually pretty bad. That's really, really bad. Like, the 2 hearts is actually way less much of a problem than actually just needing to clear 4 late game rooms to recharge the Glass Cannon. Because that is really bad. 4 rooms with no items is like borderline impossible into chest especially. I think the damage is enough to even carry you maybe through chest, as long as you play like a god gamer. But yeah, if you get hit, it's just over. Like, it's not about the 2 hearts again. It's about needing to charge the item. The increased damage you take, I'll cook everyone with the lost. Well, the increased damage is like, obviously that hurts, but it's not like, I mean, yes, it does hurt, but I think the damage of it is still better. It's good enough to overtake that, but it really is just recharging the item. That makes it way worse. Honestly, do a chest floor with it. I do think it's possible. You just have to, in a chest floor, I think you actually just have to not get hit. But to be fair, not getting hit in 1 floor is like somewhat reasonable, but for the entire run, that's tough, you know? This is actually probably, all right, I'm gonna put this in falls short. I'm gonna put this at the very bottom of maybe. I think that makes more sense. If Glass Cannon is maybe, then the perfection item should be there too. You know what? Maybe you're actually right. I thought it was a little, I didn't agree at first, but now that I'm thinking about it more realistically, it is still kind of similar. If you get hit, you actually do just get screwed. Again, not because of the damage, but because you have to clear the 4 rooms. So yeah, I think it falls short. The damage is there, but yeah, you're not gonna be able to play perfectly. Sackdag, unironically, I'll say maybe. Just flat out maybe. If you get enough health, it deals the damage you need. But it's just a little hard, you know? That's fine. Not much discussion needed there. We all know how strong Sackdag is. It's just about performance, right? I've won 2 runs in Afterwards Plus with just Blue Baby's only friend. Am I thinking of the wrong item for Blue Baby's only friend? What item is that? Hold on, I'm gonna have to look this up. Blue Baby's only friend. Oh my god. I forgot about this item. You actually might be right. Actually, it got buffed, apparently. In Repentance, it used to deal, well, in Afterbirth Plus and below, it used to do 2.5 damage per tick. Now in Repentance, it deals 3.5 damage per tick. It takes 4.3 times a second. Oh wait, never mind, it got nerfed. Oh shoot, it got big nerfed. Wait, it got really badly nerfed. Never mind. This is definitely not doable. You only deal 15 damage per second on this thing. You used to be able to deal 37.5 damage in Afterbirth Plus per second, but now it only deals 15 damage per second. I don't think it's realistic. I don't think you do enough damage in enemy rooms. I think bosses, like, it's actually not bad. Like, I think you could realistically maybe, like, beat Blue Baby if you have max health going into the fight, but you just won't be max health because I think late game rooms, especially Womb, Cathedral, and everything, with that low damage output, I just don't think it's super realistic to be able to kill the room super easily and keep all your health. I'll put this in Fall Short. Holy Light Shot. I'll actually put Holy Light Shot in Fall Short because I think its room clearing ability is actually pretty solid as long as you get lucky enough to get the shot, but it definitely will fall short, no doubt. You know what? I think Purity can actually do it. You'd have to take some self damage to get the rolls that you want whenever you take hits, and that will be really bad into Womb, but isn't its stat up like kind of massive? Like it's a pretty big stat up. I really like Purity. That being said, it is just stats. I'm still gonna put it in Fall Short. Probably like around money equals power range feels safe. Oh wait, missing number 2 is kind of crazy. No, this is infinite bombs. And like you can control where they go. Wait, is this actually doable? It's infinite bombs. It actually is. It's not that hard to time either. Like it's kind of easy. I actually think this is just flat out doable. Also, they're poop bombs, so they're so good at clearing rooms. Wait, that's kind of insane. Is this easier than Sacred Heart? Probably not. Infinite bombs is kind of crazy. Plus, each one of these bombs clears rooms. I actually think it's higher than Dr. Fetus. Is that like cap? I don't know, man. The poop bombs, they don't copy your damage stat. I think maybe the Fart Cloud does. Either way, though, like you're dealing damage throughout to the entire room. You still can skip through rooms if you need to, and the damage output is just better than Dr. Fetus because it doesn't copy your damage stat. I might be cooking. The thing with number 2 that a lot of people don't recognize is that it only takes a really long time for it to spawn if you continuously are shooting. So hear me out, right? I think it only takes like 3 or 4 seconds to actually poop the bomb. If you keep shooting until you place the bomb after like 3 or 4 seconds, I don't exactly remember the timing for it. The moment you poop it, stop shooting and then instantly start shooting again, and then it'll only take 4 seconds every single time. It's actually consistent. If you do it that way, it's very consistent to place, and you could actually time that. It's often hard to time and you might drop a bomb in a really bad situation. It's super inconvenient. Well, you gotta kind of shift your thinking around, Mal. For a run where you have no items, you're basically ignoring your tiers in this theoretical run, right? You're only using the poop bombs. So in that case, it's not gonna be hard to time because that's all you're focused on. It's possible to place it in a inconvenient scenario when you're not trying to, but you are going to time it kind of like Breath of Life in a way. Like you're gonna start shooting and then run up to the boss the moment you know you're gonna place the bomb. Because again, the timing is very consistent on it. So if that's your only way of attacking, you're basically not even using your tiers at that point because you have base damage, right? You're only focused on your bombs. So I actually think like it's pretty reasonable. I actually don't know how strong Tech 10 is. I feel like for rooms, this is like solid enough to be a maybe. It's probably like close to Brimstone, I would imagine. Is it stronger than Brimstone or not though, I wonder? My gut's telling me slightly weaker. I think it's better into rooms than Brim even, but I think Brim's probably better into bosses, and their difference for rooms is not that much. I think Tech 10 being close to Brim makes enough sense. Tech X by itself kind of stinks. I mean, yeah, but I think it'll still do enough. You supplement it with some bomb damage for the bosses, and I think it'd be enough. I think by itself, it could still clear rooms, at least. Tech X is bottom maybe, or even falls short, really? I feel like Brimstone is comparable though, no? Am I crazy? Ooh, accuracy equals power? Unironically? How much damage does this give? I feel like this gives a lot. I feel like I've said this a lot. Okay, Purity gave +4 damage. Money equals power gives +4 damage. How much does this give? It is still just stats though. It's probably still falls short. But yeah, chat, let me know how much damage this does. That's just a 2 times damage multiplier. 2 times damage multiplier max though. Yeah, it's probably just falls short then. Maw of the Void probably does it. Maw of the Void's probably stronger than Brim, realistically. I don't think it's doable though. I think you need more damage. I wonder about that though. Its base damage is pretty good, and it's not like we're fighting a high range boss. Maybe it actually is low doable. It does still use your damage stat in calculation, but I feel like it'd be quite a bit better than Brim. Am I crazy? I think Maw probably actually does go into doable, the more I think about it. It does clear rooms, and the bosses that we're fighting in a chest run, it's not like you need that much range. You could probably hit most of your Maw shots anyway, and the damage output's just a lot stronger than Brim. I think it's fair enough. But ironically enough, I think number 2 is better. Maw's being robbed right now. It could be. I actually probably agree. Let's do it here. I definitely think number 2 is better. Maybe. Number 2 is infinite bombs. That means you save bombs that you could use on bosses as well. That's crazy. Dr. Fetus also gives bombs, but Dr. Fetus is admittedly a lot harder for rooms. Number 2, the bombs literally do like room damage. Like you could kill a lot of rooms with just 2 number 2 bombs placed because it full clears rooms. It's actually crazy. I wonder if Succubus does it. I can kind of see it. I'll at least put it in falls short unless y'all think otherwise. But I can actually kind of see it. This is just one Succubus, keep in mind. Plus free flyers could be top 3. Not sure if they deal damage. I think they do very slight damage. We could put it in bottom falls short in that case. Oh, Pill Mimic. Yeah, I see the argument. Pill Mimic probably goes right behind PhD. Yeah. I mean, realistically, like, it makes sense. You could just spam tiers up pills until you get to max tier rate. And then once you get to max tier rate, you can switch to... This is very hypothetical, though. Like 100 times to win with Placebo. But I think, like, the run exists, though. You know what I mean? Like, I think the moment you get an early tiers up Placebo run... Because remember, we don't have to consider, like, the runs where... We don't have to consider it as if you are spawning both Placebo and the tiers up in the same run. Because Placebo, you're starting every attempt with, right? That's what we're assuming here. If we assume you're starting with Placebo every single run, it's not that unlikely to get a tiers up semi early on. Like, it's not that crazy. Or even like a Balls of Steel to help you in the meantime until you get that. I mean, you know, shops exist, right? I think it could at least go like bottom maybe. I don't think it's that crazy. Maybe is like high roll items, right? If you high roll, you get lucky, you can do it, right? That's why PhD is here even. You get, or Pill Mimic, for example. If you get lucky, you can probably do it. That being said, I think Pill Mimic actually falls short. I don't think tiers ups are enough. Where's my man Lil Gurdy? Where's my man Lil Gurdy? There he is. That's my goat right there. Top of the list, Lil Gurdy, let's go. Why is Lil Gurdy so high, man? Or Chad, you know why. You know why. Explosivo probably is at least fall short. How much damage do the explosive shots do? I do think it's kind of in a similar situation to Tough Love though, where it kind of hurts in rooms. Honestly, yeah. Actually, this is way worse than Holy Light Shot now that I think about it. Because there's some enemies that this doesn't even work on. I'm gonna put this very bottom of fall short actually. Because you gotta remember, we're going itemless, man. There's some enemies that literally just like basically ignore this. Somebody tested Proptosis. Apparently its damage is pretty good. Pretty fast and bad testing, Proptosis does have the damage and actually makes some rooms in Cathedral and Chest so easy. Interesting. If you actually think Proptosis makes some rooms in Cathedral and Chest easy, I think that's pretty telling. You do unironically have to get very close. Me personally, I think range is pretty important for this kind of list. Well, not necessarily. No, it really is just damage, to be fair. Because again, there aren't any like long range bosses we're fighting here. I'll leave it there. That's kind of where my gut's telling me. I'm willing to put it in doable though. If you tested it and you feel like it's good enough to be Santiago, I don't know if you're still in chat. If you think it's good enough to be doable, let me know and I'll put it there. I'll let you place it basically because you actually tested it. Like, tell me exactly where you want it, and I'll place it where you want. Because honestly, I don't have enough data in my brain to rank that efficiently. Completely valid. Proptosis and Deadeye are very similar ranking. I think it's a problem about the boss. Prop destroys destroys Satan. On the other hand, Isaac is really hard. Maybe going Mother might even be a better choice. Is bottom maybe? Fair enough. Hey, you tested it. If you think it's bottom, maybe, fair enough. I didn't test it. Go to Deadeye, which falls short. Proptosis is 3 times at most, but it's near impossible to hit that close. With Deadeye, you could hit every shot, getting consistent 2 times damage. That's true. In that case, let's put both of them bottom, maybe, if they're comparable like that. Daddy Longlegs is reasonable to add, only dodging skills needed. I don't know if Daddy Longlegs' damage is enough, but honestly, I think it's fair enough to put him in at least falls short. Like, I do think it's at least close, like closer than even like these below it. So I think that's fair enough. Do we count full Meat Boy? No, because that's multiple meat cubes. You know what I would consider though is Potato Peeler. Honestly, yes. Potato Peeler just works. You'd have to get health up pills, but yeah, you can get full Meat Boy with that. You have to get pretty lucky. I think, honestly, Potato Peeler could be a maybe. You'd have to get quite a few soul hearts, but you can get, like, multiple Meat Boys. Okay, I actually want to put Potato Peeler in here. You know what? I think it's a maybe. I think higher than the pills. Because you got to think, right? If we're starting as Isaac, pills are allowed, so you can get a health up. No matter what, at base, it gives you a damage up. Very important. Because when you have no damage sources, I know it's a small damage up, but that will matter a lot. Every single time you use this, you get a small damage up. So your tiers are actually becoming more useful. But on top of that, you get a really strong familiar. Like, I think it's worth getting rid of all your red health for this. Absolutely. Obviously, you're going to have to rely on soul hearts from that point on. But, like, if you, like, get some Balls of Steel pills and stuff, like, you could definitely mitigate that. I think it's definitely a maybe. I think Potato Peeler, solid, right? If Abyss is allowed, that's top 1. I guess Abyss and Void would be allowed, wouldn't they? Wow, they probably are just allowed, aren't they? It does use items, but technically those items aren't going in your inventory, like I said. All right, let's get it out the way. Void is like kind of insane. Void honestly feels not fair because you're using items, but going by my rule set, it's technically allowed. It sucks because it's so obviously top 3, especially now that it's been buffed. Oh my god. This is easily the best on the list. Are you kidding me? The problem with it is that it's not even close. Even compared to Mom's Knife, it's not close. Let's be real. Chat, I'm honestly curious. Should Void and Abyss be counted? Because you do technically need to kind of use items, but I mean, by my rule set, they don't get added to the item list, so it technically should be. But it's just like so lame. Like, it's not interesting. Like, we all know that it's possible, you know? Let me know, chat. I just set up a poll. Especially with like Void. Like, Void's quite a bit better than Abyss actually with no items as well, because the active items, like, well, no, the active items aren't that useful in this kind of, well, it can be. I mean, yeah, you can actually get to use multiple active items at once. So you get Book of Rev and stuff like that, or D20 and Game Break. Well, granted, a Game Break would only get you max health because you can't pick up items, but you could void more items. Pause. You could void infinite items in that Game Break. Wait, void D20 is broken. Abyss scales with damage, so you'll be pretty weak. Yeah, but like, let's be real here. It doesn't matter though. Even if Abyss scales with your damage, it actually just doesn't matter because it's still a DPS up. It just is. Like, consistent DPS up compared to all of these items by themselves it's just too good. Let's make a disqualified tier. You're kind of right. Let's make it disqualified. Disqualified. I just don't think it's fun to talk about. We all know. We all know Void and Abyss are insane in this. They're just disqualified. Fair enough. What about Smelter? Smelter adds the trinket to your held items, so I don't count Smelter. If you gulp a trinket, then how I do it is I just don't allow myself to pick up another trinket. I'll put Smelter in the disqualified tier just because I think it's like kind of iffy. How much damage does Sharp Straw do on its own? Because I heard a few people say Sharp Straw at this point. Damages all enemies in the room. Damage deals equal to Isaac's current tier damage. Oh, plus 10% of enemies' max health? Wait, how does that work into bosses? No way it actually does 10% of a boss's max health. That's gotta be nerfed against bosses, right? How does this work against bosses? There's just no world that this unironically does 10% of a boss's health every single time used. I think Straw? Can I get confirmation on Straw? Okay, against bosses, does it actually do 10% of their health? Does anybody know? Every 10 seconds, you're dealing 10% of the boss's HP. You just need to fight a fight for 100 seconds then. Is my logic flawed there? Like, hello? Maybe less if you're shooting. Maybe just 90 seconds. Plus you could bomb to lower the time of the fight as well. Damage dealt is equal to Isaac's current tier damage plus 10% of the enemy's max health. Yeah, I know that's what it says, but is it really like that against bosses? That's crazy. Now that being said, if Straw's 10% damage, is that a crazy take? No, you know what the issue is? It's rooms. Ironically enough, because I feel like this item is good into rooms, like in a regular run, just to do like a little bit of damage to every enemy and then kill them with what you have left. But if you're only dealing 10% and then you have base stats to work with, you know what, I'm changing my mind. I actually think the late game rooms you'll struggle with a lot. I actually don't even know if it's doable just because of the rooms. It's reasonable to survive for 100 seconds against a boss. I don't find it reasonable to survive for 100 seconds in every single room in the entire game. Especially because you'll get hoarded. Like, you could dodge a boss forever. You can't dodge chasing enemies forever, depending on the room layout. I think maybe I'll just do top maybe. Man of the Straw also gives you half a red heart for healing. Ooh, actually, fair point. Fair point, actually. The red health is actually really useful. Disqualify marbles too, then? Yeah, I should. You're right. Oh, Ghost Pepper. You know what? Ghost Pepper, I do agree that if you do manage to get the perfection, which will be hard. Remember, you still have to beat the first 3 floors hitless, which isn't that crazy over multiple attempts. Like, you're gonna get that eventually. Maybe even first try. Like, it's not that crazy. Just remember you have no items. Even just beating Caves 1 with no items besides Ghost Pepper, like, it's not like that's easy. It's definitely still falls short, though. I'll at least put it above Holy Light, because I agree if you get the perfection, that's kind of crazy for a bit, but I still think you will eventually get hit just by something random. I think it'll still happen. I don't think it's enough to be a maybe, personally. Someone literally want a Ghost Pepper only run. Ooh, let me look at that Mal, actually. Here, I'll put this on stream. Let's see the end game. They got perfection.
Victor did say that it was reasonable to not get hit if you get perfection. Yeah, it does offer you the protection you kind of need, doesn't it? I mean, they got all the soul hearts. You know what? I'm a reasonable man. I see a test. That's all I need to see. Fair enough. I didn't think it was powerful enough. But it looks like it is. Obviously they got perfection. But, you know, if we're going by my reasoning, like, you don't need to win every single run. If you don't get perfection early, you probably just lose this run. But that's fine. I mean, like, you just try again, right? Yeah, honestly, fair enough. You win. Let's do Ghost Pepper into... I think I'd even put it right here. Spirit Sword confirmed number 1. We're gonna have a long debate on Spirit Sword and Mom's Knife. Spirit Sword is top 3. Whether it's below or above Knife is very debatable. I think they're both above Breath of Life at least, because I think Breath of Life... As much as I went on and on about Breath of Life, like, you're going to get used to the timing eventually. After a few attempts. I think even after getting used to the timing, Spirit Sword and Knife are still easier. There's sides to both of them. Keep in mind that this is a chest run. I think for the all items list, I'm leaning towards... I really don't know, I'll be honest. They're so comparable. For all items list, we're gonna do tests comparing the two. I think they're gonna be close in the tier list. But for this list, for no items, we are only doing a chest path. Okay, Knife has more range, whereas Sword has a much bigger hitbox. And I actually would argue a bigger hitbox is more important than range on a chest run. Because the width of the slash being bigger means that it's just so much easier to just spam hit every single enemy. And don't get me started on the spin attack. The spin attack for Spirit Sword is unironically really useful for clearing rooms. You just charge this before every single room. You go into the room, spin attack. There's a lot of rooms that can actually just get swept by one spin attack. I think Spirit Sword's a little bit better. It's very close. And I think Knife actually does more damage into bosses, but I think like the consistency of Spirit Sword, I mean, they're both insanely strong into bosses, right? I think Spirit Sword might take one extra hit into bosses at most compared to Knife, whereas I feel like the damage that Spirit Sword saves on rooms is quite a bit more than Knife. Because the spin attack, and let's not even mention, Spirit Sword has min-max, right? Spirit Sword, you can grab pickups from across gaps, and that's useful. Like, every single little bit of pickups you can get from an itemless run is pretty massive. Like, getting soul hearts that are out of reach, massive. Even cards. Like, cards are really useful in this run. You get a strength card from a pit, that's massive for that final boss, you know? Or even just the next boss if you need it for it. Or you can get more pills. Like, I think everything combined, I'm kind of more of a Sword Andy here. For this run, I think for a regular run, because like the range issue of Spirit Sword is way more pronounced in an all items list when we're considering all paths, but we're only considering the small room bosses like It Lives, Isaac, and Blue Baby in this case. The range is not really an issue for either of them, I'll be honest. I forget, the Spirit Sword, is it only the spin attack that blocks tears, or do the regular slashes also block tears? Because if the regular slashes also block tears, I actually don't even think it's close. Like you could actually just spam this against Isaac and Blue Baby and it's not close. I assume it's only the spin attack that blocks tears, because I think it'd be way too OP if you could just slash tears. I feel like in this specific run, the range issue is not really an issue at all. Maybe in certain rooms, but like, I don't know. Slashes don't block tears. They only do that with lost contact. That makes sense. Admittedly, even for me, it's very close, but I think the pickups, unironically, big point, especially for this run, you need every single little bit that you can get. Extra bombs even, right? Bombs are great in this challenge. Get some extra bombs, extra pills, extra cards. I mean, you just will get extra stuff. Like, eventually you will get extra stuff. There's no contest there. And I think the spin attack into rooms is just so good. I really do. And you know, you can still spin attack on bosses to like get through massive tier waves if you need to. It is very close. I mean, Mom's Knife, I'm pretty sure does more damage. I'm pretty damn sure. Mom's Knife is also probably just flat out better into Isaac and Blue Baby. I think against Mom's Heart, they're very comparable, honestly. Like, I don't think either is better than the other, honestly. Because you could definitely get close into Mom's Heart. I will agree, though, that in terms of Isaac and Blue Baby, it's kind of hard to get super, super close if you're, like, low on health. So maybe those could be a slight issue with Sword when compared to Knife. Maybe. That's tough. They're still insanely close. But I think the rooms point, I think you clear rooms way easier with Sword than you do with Knife, personally. Let's do a poll. If y'all think knife is better, I'll rank it above. Honestly, fair. I think they're super, super close. The runes point is the only thing, and the pickups, admittedly, are the only reasons why I think sword is above, personally. Itemless sword versus knife. They both definitely have the damage, like there's no contest there. And I don't think the range issue is an issue on a basic chest run for either of them. Like I wouldn't even consider that a negative for either of them. That's why I'd so confidently put them above something like Epic Fetus. Because like Epic Fetus I would rank above Mom's Knife for the range, for all runs. And also it has better synergies and more consistent synergies than Knife. But here, like there's no synergies to work with. The range is not an issue. It's definitely a whole tier above Epic Fetus. I would say that for sure. It seems like a lot of people are picking sword. It's funny because at the beginning of this stream, I think y'all just agree with my reasoning, huh? That I just mentioned right now. Because at the beginning of the stream, when I had the poll up for all 4 options, Ipecac, Epic Fetus, sword, and knife, knife actually won. It was close, admittedly, but knife actually won. But now it's crazy, the split. Sword is 92% to knife's 8%. That's kind of insane. I mean, is my reasoning flawed, Victor? Granted, I still think it's close. Don't get it twisted. It's definitely close. Again, like in an itemless scenario, you want those extra pickups. You want something like the charge of the spin attack to go into every single room, right? Like pre-charge is really strong for items like Brimstone, and you could do that with the spin attack here. They both have like similar enough damage. Like even if knife's damage is higher into bosses, it's not enough higher to like really make that big of a difference. And again, I think the rooms, it's mainly the rooms, man. I think rooms are so free with sword. Like actually so free with sword. Like that even if knife is slightly better on bosses, it's not by enough to overtake the fact that sword is so much better into rooms. About melee damage, knife, melee also has wide range if you wiggle it around. Well yeah, but sword is free. If you compare their DPS, you have to click 20 times per second for Spirit Sword DPS to be. It doesn't need to be comparable though, Victor. Like it could be less. It just doesn't matter. Like you're killing every enemy with both no matter what. You just will kill every enemy. That's not the issue. The issue, I think, is the width of the attacks. It is easier to hit Spirit Sword than it is easier to hit Knife into enemies. I'm not saying it's hard to hit enemies with knife because it isn't, but like if we're comparing the two directly, I think sword is just a little bit more free. Range is also very important. Well, I just said I don't think range is that important for this. Like, I mean, I guess you can consider it a little unfair, but like, do you need that much range for It Lives, Isaac, and Blue Baby? Maybe the range helps a little bit into Isaac and Blue Baby. That's why I said knife can probably save you 1 hit over Spirit Sword. And I think that's fair. Like, I think that's fair. If you say you take 2 extra hits in the run to bosses when comparing the two, I think that makes sense. But I think you save way more hits in rooms with Spirit Sword than you do with knife. Like, I think if you lose 2 hearts in the run due to boss damage difference between sword and knife, I think rooms you lose at least 5 hits when comparing damage in rooms. I think Spirit Sword is so free into rooms. Like, it's not even close. I think, like, when their damage is so close anyway, like, again, I said since the beginning, knife probably just does have flat out more damage than sword, but like, their damage is both high enough. Like, we're at a point in damage for both of them that it relies more on, that the ranking does not rely on DPS flat out at this point. Now, it's more so, what item protects you better? And I think the wider range in front of you will protect you better against hordes of enemies. And I don't even think that's like, that's not a crazy take by any means. I do think, though, the pickups as well, like, that's a good point. These are all little things that combine to make sword ever so slightly higher than knife, I think. Let's move on. This pepper is comparable to Ghost Pepper now. I think so. Does Neptunus give enough tier rate? Probably not. That being said, it does instantly give you over max tier rate, and it'll stack with more tiers up pills. I think that's valid. That makes enough sense. I actually think Potato Peeler's higher, though. The small damage ups you can get from this, from, like, getting health up pills and stuff, and obviously the familiars, very solid, honestly. Does Death's List can be a carry? Honestly? Maybe. What are the stats that Death's List can give? Can it give, like, damage? Death's List. I see the argument. When enemies are killed in the order, the following rewards are a soul heart, a pill, a key, a bomb, or a nickel, or 0.2 speed, 0.5 range. It no longer, it gives 0.5 fire rate. 0.2 shot speed, 1 flat damage. You know what? Dude, this is like high doable. Oh my god. It gives fire rate, by the way. Admittedly, you can always low roll, but like you can do this in every single room, no? I actually think this is high doable. Like if you start the run with Death's List, then like you're basically just like, you have a lot of stats if you're just really optimal with it. You definitely could just low roll with it, and that's still realistic. It's maybe at best, what, Death's List? No, I disagree. I actually think Death's List is good in this. We're obviously assuming you get the item first floor. If you just keep using it, if you are super optimal, and this is only a chest run, I think you get enough stats to actually just do it, you know? You get soul hearts out of it too. I mean, you will not get it every room. You will not get stats that are, well, yeah, I know, but you get to use it every room. Like getting a soul heart or even a nickel or a pill. A pill is actually massive in this run. Any effect that you get out of this is useful. I think keys are the worst thing you get out of this. And debatably speed after you get too much. But like even range like is good into like those big enemy rooms, you know? Hell, luck is good too. Well, no it isn't. No, luck is actually trash in this run. Actually, technically, you can get a trinket that uses luck, right? Death's list is bottom, maybe. And I hate the fact that it is complete RNG BS. I feel like all the effects for Death's list is good, though. Again, the only bad rolls on Death's list are the luck, but even then, the luck could be good if you get the right trinket for it. And even then, you get better room clear rewards with higher luck, so it's not completely useless. And the keys. I don't think you necessarily need all those keys. Bombs are insane. Every single drop from Death's list is kind of crazy, even if you don't get stats. It's really not that much RNG. Death's List. I unironically think it's one of the best items in this list. You're underestimating how hard it is to activate Death's List, and you're overestimating the stats. Mal, I'm not underestimating the activation of Death's List. Let me tell you why. Death's List, the main reason why I would rank it way lower in a normal list. And actually, I will say, I am a hater of Death's List. Keep in mind, I kind of dislike exactly how this item operates. Because how Isaac works is you're bound to get OP enough to the point where you just kill things so quickly that it's kind of impossible to aim for a specific enemy. In a run where you are super weak, right? Since the very start of the run, you start with nothing. It is super easy to aim for enemies if you don't have items, if you're not strong enough. If you're only getting stats, you're not getting synergies, like you're not getting homing, or you're not getting, I don't know, Brimstone, or piercing, or Jacob's Ladder, or basically, or splash damage. You're not getting these items that make you kill a million enemies at once, making Death's List basically impossible to activate sometimes. When you don't have those things, Death's List is actually very easy to activate. And that's why I'd rank Death's List pretty, honestly, kind of mid in the all items list. Like, y'all might be mad at me for that. Turret values this item better than I do. I just don't see it. I think it's too hard to activate if you have items. Like, actually. I feel like it's more, like, it's still somewhat useful because sometimes I get it by accident. But even when trying to get it, when you have items, it's just so much harder. Death's List is not that hard when you don't have that much stuff. Death's List over Maw is crazy. I think it's actually accurate, though, is the thing. If any room has a spawner enemy, you pretty much can't kill them in order. That's fine. Like, yeah, you don't need to get every single room. Did recently the entire basement and all rooms, and it only got 0.5 tiers from dead list. Obviously, soul hearts and other useless stuff, I think, is doable. You are completely dependent of the RNG. You know what? If you tested it, at the very least, I'll move it to the bottom of doable. Fair enough. I do think it's doable. From reasoning alone, I think I see the argument for it. And again, it doesn't have to be like consistent. Like this criteria is a little different than the all items list because I don't mind if you lose a run. Like you could reset scum a little bit even until you get a good first floor. Do I think this is easy in quotation marks? Well, no, it's never easy, but like, can you get the conditions for this item to actually work semi-consistently? And I think so. Not being able to do the condition triggers me. I think the condition is easy when you have no items. Hate Death's List and won't pay 1 heart for it. Oh, I never will too. I actually hate Death's List. I unironically hate Death's List. But in a run where you have no items, I don't know, man. We all hate Death's List. I mean, yeah, Death's List. I hate Death's List, chat. It's just like, this happens a lot, ironically enough. D20 is one of my least favorite items in Isaac because it's like the most min-max item in the game and it's super boring to use. I just recognize how OP it is, all right? So I fought for it because, you know, I care about the accuracy of the list, right? It's similar here. I legitimately hate this item, like I do, because I think it operates in a normal run. I just think it's too hard to consistently activate. Like, it's annoying to use because you actually just get too strong trying to activate Death's List and gaining soul hearts. But in a run where you have base tiers and no synergy items, no splash, no pierce, no nothing, I think it's easy enough. People are thinking Death's List every single room. Of course that's hard. You don't have to do it every room. Yeah, exactly, Victor. You don't need to do it every room. Even just doing it every 3 rooms is still really good. You're getting stats. Any item that gives you stats in a challenge like this is insane. Or items, or soul hearts, or bombs even. Bombs are great damage output. Yeah, even every 4 rooms, the benefits will stack over time, exactly. You definitely do not need to do it every single room. I thought that was a given. I'm not saying you need to do it every single room. Every 3 rooms is way too little benefit. I don't think so. Keep in mind that the first 4 floors are doable with base stats. And that is basically build-up time for Death's List, for you to get stronger for the late game. I'll rank Mega Mush as falls short, but we'll do maybe. There's battery trinkets and stuff, or you can get 48-hour energy to mitigate stuff. I mean, yes, Mega Mush can solo any boss in the game, no matter what. It doesn't matter. It's a reusable chaos card. But the problem is that you're gonna have to beat bosses, you're gonna have to beat rooms, and you can't fully charge Mega Mush by itself. You just can't. You need to clear rooms with base tiers at some point, and that's really rough. I'll give it a maybe, because maybe you could get like some really crazy like cards and 48-hour energy pills or stuff to bring into the late game. Maybe you could build some stuff up. Or even the one trinket is really crazy that I got into. I participated in an Isaac race with Tony the Penguino, and I got Mega Mush in that race. And I got this trinket. It's actually the first time I used the trinket, ironically enough. And it was like one of the most OP synergies. It's the one trinket that charges the active item right before the boss battle. Like the moment you enter the boss battle. It fully recharges Mega Mush every time you walk into the boss. Like if you get that, GG. Like honestly. You need some high roll, sure. But you could do it. Hairpin, that's what it is. Yeah. Mega Mush is an in theory item for this. Yes. In theory. I think this is a fair spot for Mega Mush, honestly. False PhD. This is high. Like, actually high. Honestly, it's a very consistent damage up. I mean, seriously? I think this is, like, higher than all the doables. I really do. It's so consistent. You do need to get pills, but I mean, you start with a pill at least, so you are instantly starting with a damage up. Well, that's not necessarily true. You could get black hearts. But still, I mean, for the entire run you have it, if you're starting the run, you're going to be able to get a lot of damage out of it. Every single pill. You're not getting a damage up from every single pill, admittedly, but black hearts are also great to get, you know? False PhD too high IMO. Still have to find pills. The stats down might start being detrimental. I think the only stat pills that you don't take are tears down. I think every single stat down pill is takeable. Actually, speed could be bad too. Maybe you're actually right, because you're starting at base stats. Those stat drops, like speed, like having less than 1 speed is so bad. And lower range is pretty bad too, actually. Let's put it here. That actually makes sense. That's fair enough, actually. At base stats, it is true. Like, if you go below 1 speed, that is so rough. If you go below base range, that is so rough. Even going below base tiers, yeah. I mean, think about it this way, right? When you have false PhD, that means you can't get tears up pills anymore. That being said, I think the consistency of the damage ups still makes it way more useful than tears up pills being available. Because realistically, right, you're probably only gonna get 1, maybe 2 or 3 tears ups in a run anyway. Whereas with this, you're getting way more damage ups, so it makes up for it for sure, but... Cambion Conception could be great as well. Cambion Conception, doesn't that add the familiar into your items? If an item adds more items into your pause menu, like inventory, then it doesn't count. You're not allowed to use it. Soul of Lilith is also not allowed for that same reason. Cambion caps like 4 familiars though? Ooh, fair enough. You know what? Fair enough. Let's rank it then. At 4 familiars, it's worse than Bloodlust. There you go. Even if you high roll the most, which is like what? Incubus, Twisted Pair, I don't know, Lil Brim, and I don't know, something. Even if you get all that, it's still like gonna be a really hard run. Because I don't even think Incubus and Twisted Pair even make fall short but close. I actually don't. Because it's only a 75% increase, which I guess these are only a 2 times increase. Let's just kind of put it into perspective though. Maybe they do actually make the tier. But that's like super high roll anyway. Lil Abaddon, yeah, good point. And Succubus, yeah. You have to high roll a bunch. I don't think it's actually that insane. And Cambion Conception is a maybe because of Leech. I think that's a little too much high roll though. Like I think that's more high roll than Mega Mush getting like battery pickups in the run. There's a pool of 8 familiars. Oh, it only has... I didn't realize that its pool was that small. You can always get 4 out of 8, meaning that if you max out, there's a 50% chance to get a leech. Okay, you know what? Fair enough now. Fair enough. Let's put it right here, above Mega Mush. Fair enough. I didn't realize its pool was that small. What are the ones you get? Best high roll is Leech, Incubus, Succubus, Twisted Pair. Yeah, I mean, if there's only 8 in the pool, that's kind of bonkers. Wait, does this make Lilith kind of way better than I think she is? I mean, I always knew Lilith was pretty good because of Cambion, but I didn't realize the pool was that small. And these are all really good familiars. That's pretty incredible, actually. Fair enough. Revelation is better Maw of the Void. It also gives flight, so you're getting extra pickups and stuff. I don't know how much damage this does at base, but my gut is telling me here. Remember, we're starting with all these items. Starting with False PhD is kind of crazy. Pyro really is enough bombs to get you through the run. Maybe I'll give it a shot later. Maybe! At the very least, you could try to solo the run with base stats until, like, Caves 1. Or even, like, Depths if you're really crazy. And then you could start using your bombs. Maybe it is possible. I would actually put Pyro in maybe. at least. I kind of see the world for it. I actually do want to rank Pyro. Where is Pyro? If you beat the first 4 floors with base stats, you can probably have enough bombs to beat the rest of the run. I actually think that makes sense. Let's put this at top of maybe. That sounds realistic. You wouldn't take multiple on Star of Beth. You're probably right. Star of Beth could probably be in its own tier, I would bet. Because the way I see Star of Beth is basically it's Tainted Blue Baby, just for every single room as well. Now that being said, it is important to note that if you somehow lose the Star of Beth, I mean, this is a big skill issue, but like, if you lose the Star of Beth, let's say like you get a big room, you get one of those big rooms where you go to the right, that's the entrance to the room, and then the way Star of Beth goes is straight up, then there's a chance that you just like cannot shoot within the Star of Beth light within that room. And keep in mind, if you get that kind of room combo in Womb, you have to beat that Womb room at base damage with no items. Actually, I think my reasoning is kind of sound there. I think that's common enough of an occurrence. Because let's be real here, Star of Beth cannot nuke instantly at base with no items every single room. If the pathing to Star of Beth doesn't allow you to stick in the light beam and shoot from anywhere. Because again, if the light leaves you, you just kind of get screwed. You have to beat that room itemless, flat out. You might be able to bomb the door. That is true though, Victor. But keep in mind that chest is a thing. Wait, chest might actually ruin it for Star of Beth. I'm going to test this once we get to Star of Beth. I'm actually going to teleport to a chest floor with only Star of Beth and see how it performs. That's what I'll do. But like, I feel like, I mean, I know Star of Beth is really strong, but at base with no items, can you actually solo the chest floors? Because those chest rooms, sometimes you can just get bosses that are really strong. And then like, if the Star of Beth is too quick for you to actually kill the floor, and you can't bomb through chest doors, by the way, then you might actually just get screwed. Because you can't beat some of those rooms at base damage with nothing. Okay, obviously you can, but as time goes on, you're gonna get whittled down. Actually, wait, my reasoning for Star of Beth might actually be super sound. We're going to place it here for now, right? We're gonna test this in just a second, okay? We are going to test Star of Bethlehem because my theory might be sound about Star of Bethlehem. We're gonna test it. Don't worry, chat. Don't worry. Incubus bottom, maybe? No way Incubus makes bottom, maybe. I don't know about that one. I feel like that doesn't make sense. They're still your base stat. Wait, no, they're not even your base stats. They're 75% of your... There's no way. I actually don't see it. We could at least put Twisted Parent Incubus in like, what's it called? And falls short. Probably like around Magic Mush level. Maybe Eve's Mascara, unironically. I think the damage up you get out of it might be enough. Yeah, because honestly, Eve's Mascara's biggest weakness is tears. And guess what? You get tears up pills. Fair enough, honestly. Heber Sack is actually one of the best in the list. Unironically, this is a top 3 contender, actually. It actually is. We're assuming we start with all these items, keep in mind. Is this item better than Spirit Sword and Knife? You know what? No, it isn't. Oh my god, it isn't, because we're not able to buy the items. We're not able to buy the passive items. Never mind. It might actually be lower than False PhD then. Yeah, you're not gonna get nearly as much out of it if you can't buy the items. Even if you get like 2 restock shops in the run. Yeah, let's highball, right? Let's say you somehow get 3 restock shops in the run. If you have enough money to restock that entire shop and buy all the pickups, I still don't think it would be that much. It'd be solid. And I think solid enough to be doable, definitely. But I actually think it'd be less than False PhD, maybe. Without the ability to buy the actual items, you're not spending as much money, so you're not getting as much stats. Oh shoot, Blood Puppy too! Blood Puppy's pretty good. Like, legitimately solid. This is basically Esau once it charges up. Like, if you let this get to its demon form, it's actually really freaking strong. I think higher than Sacred Heart even. Legit? I actually think it's higher than these. It does a lot of freaking damage. I think it's higher than Ma! Wait! It does a lot of damage. It actually is just a Tainted Jacob run. But like, not as threatening, right? Because if you get hit, you just take damage. It's actually just an easier Tainted Jacob run. And I feel like the Max Rage Blood Puppy does more damage than Esau. Am I crazy? I think it does. No, you know what it is? It's that Blood Puppy's above number 2. Like, you don't even need to worry about placing bombs if Blood Puppy can just do all the work for you. It's actually higher than Keeper Sack too. Wait, Blood Puppy's crazy. He does 180 on the charge. What? Okay, it is still important to note that it is still an extra enemy you have to dodge. Right? Like, in a realistic scenario, you are actually just going to get hit more often in a Blood Puppy run, where you keep the second phase Blood Puppy out all the time. That being said, the Red Hearts could mitigate it, but remember, we only have 3 Red Heart containers. maybe 4 or 5 if we get lucky with health up pills. It is still important to note that even though he is dropping red hearts, you probably just are getting hit more often. It's not like Blood Puppy's hard to dodge. It's the fact that while you're dodging Blood Puppy in a room with enemies already there, you can potentially run into other enemies. It's harder to dodge Blood Puppy in a room with active enemies chasing you as well, right? It's like ESAO. That's what makes ESAO so hard. I mean, Tainted Jacob so hard, because it's easy to dodge ESAO in a Tainted Jacob run. But the problem is that while you're hard aiming on dodging ESAO, you'll just get hit by other things, because you care way more about dodging ESAO than you do about getting hit by like a tier or something, or an enemy. Because dodging ESAO is the greatest priority. The damage is certainly there for top 3, but it is still important to note that it is still another danger that you have to deal with. Did you consider that at 11 charges, Everything Jar always gives you a golden bomb? It always gives you a golden bomb? Good reasoning, Mal. Hey, Mal's got some good reasoning, all right? I was hesitant at first with some of their takes, but hold on, you know? When you're right, you're right. Golden bombs can solo this game. So if you get a golden bomb every single floor, know what I'm saying? Now, that being said, you do have to min-max it very well, so it's definitely not high and doable. You basically need to perfectly do all of your floors. Because here's the thing, right? Well, no, because you're also saving bombs. So you can actually do a few rooms with regular bombs and while you're charging to get the golden bombs and probably still be fine. That's fair enough. So yeah, I think it's doable. Lemegeton is fair, and I don't think it's boring to rank either because legitimately you could just lose your Wisps. I am of the opinion that Lemegeton is the best itemless item in this game. It gives you items. Who would have guessed the item that gives you items without actually giving you items is the best? You can lose your Wisp, but after you start snowballing, I don't think it's realistic that you're going to lose all your Wisps. Okay, I'll put it this way. The only way you'll mass lose Wisps is It Lives, Isaac, and Blue Baby, right? Rooms, I don't think so. I think you snowball with Lemegeton enough to start, like, always having your Wisp. Like, the early game is a little rough, but then the moment you start snowballing, it's gonna become so strong. It's gonna feel like almost like a regular run even. Lemegeton's a really overpowered item. And I mean, hell, I've done Tainted Beth item lists before, and keep in mind, like, even though it's a meme, Tainted Beth does get lesser item effects. So you might think, oh, well, that's because of blood charges. And that is definitely part of it. Blood charges make that really, really easy. But keep in mind, right? All of her stat ups from items are lesser. So take that effect away. It might actually be closer than you might think, right? And you could obviously get battery effects. You could find battery bums. You could find batteries. You can get 48-hour energy pills. You could just, there's a lot of ways to min-max charges in general. I think Lemegeton is debatably the best in this list for item lists. I think so. I'm actually kind of down to make this top 5 because I feel like all of these are quite a bit higher than all of these. I don't think Lemegeton's disqualified, no. It doesn't go into your passive items, and it feels a little bit more interesting than Void because, like, you're not using items to get the effects, right? Void, you literally suck up items to get the effects. Lemegeton, it's just doing what it's meant to do. It charges up, and then it gives you a Wisp that has an item's effect. And that Wisp can always break, right? It's not like it's always going to be insane. I just think for a typical chest run, you don't lose Wisps fast enough. Because remember, every individual Wisp has 3 separate hits. I think you snowball your Wisps enough to the point where you're not realistically going to lose all your Wisps. Not in a chest run. I mean, I'll put it this way. The Tainted Beth run, again, I know that she has blood charges, important to note, but she also has the lesser item effects. So I think it maybe is more even than you might think. I was able to do Tainted Beth item lists on my second try. It was really easy. And if you can do any of these, like an itemless attempt on 2 tries, come on, dude. Oh shoot, Rock Bottom. There's so many items. I think Rock Bottom is a maybe. It's still just stats. I think it's still more of a maybe than Pyro, though. Yeah, I think so. Such as a Wisp, the whole Jar of Wisp buff might make it good enough. Oh, good point. I forgot about Jar of Wisp. There's so many items that I keep forgetting to include. Where's Jar of Wisps? Because I agree. Do I think it's doable? I think it's probably still maybe. Because, I mean, I don't think that your damage output is enough. Your protection's definitely there, though. It's definitely the best protection item on this list, but... And I think it gives you enough damage for rooms, at least. I think it might struggle a little bit into the late game bosses, though. There it is. Jar of Wisps. I think it's probably right here. I'd rather have 99 bombs, I think. But I think it's valid enough to be a maybe. I just don't think his damage output is there, but it definitely, like, will save you so much health going into the late game. You think Dark Hearts can carry the entire run? No. Well, maybe. Let's put it in maybe. It's just annoying because Dark Arts as an active item feels worse, even though it's technically the same item. There it is. We can put it in maybe. If I could at least think that I could get a Tainted Judas run item list, then fair enough. The item itself should go in. We're playing as an easier character with red hearts. It should at least go here. Fair enough. Mentioned Salvation, but it hasn't been in place. I don't think you're right. I'm sorry, chat. The ADHD would be running up, you know? All right, Salvation. From what I remember, it's pretty solid. I think it's comparable to Maw of the Void. Maybe even stronger? Am I hating on Maw of the Void too much? You could activate Maw of the Void. Yeah, Maw of the Void's definitely better. But I do think it's like kind of similar, I would think. I don't know the damage difference, to be fair. You know, realistically, if we have Mega Mush here, we should probably put Mega Blast right behind it. Because it can also just one-shot bosses and rooms. Debatably? I think it's better. Because I think you can get more charges on Mega Blast than you can Mega Mush. Is that cap? I'm not sure. No, because Mega Mush you could skip rooms. No, it's definitely Mega Mush. You can actually skip rooms with Mega Mush. Just rush for the boss if you need to. Where's Lil Abaddon? Where is Lil Abaddon? How much damage does Lil Abaddon do, chat? One of these days I'll find Lil Abaddon. Oh shoot, he's right here. Did somebody say how much damage he does? Lil Abaddon does 30 damage per second. That's pretty good. 30 damage? That's pretty good. How much damage does Maw of the Void do at base damage? VK, I'm sure you know. Little Maw does 30. Okay. You know what? I think the items are actually similar to each other. Their damage isn't that different. I'll put it below Salvation. That seems fair enough, right? Unless I'm overrating it. Okay, let's find Abyss. Let's put this in Disqualified for sure. Urn of Souls can be maybe or doable. You kind of have a challenge to prove it. Yeah, but that challenge gives you a little bit more to work with. I think you run out. Urn of Souls is doable. You really think so? At base, Urn of Souls? Actually decent at no items run? There's literally a challenge for it. Well, what are the items that challenge comes with? I'm pretty sure it gives you a little bit more to work with. You play Beth and Urn of Souls challenge, so you have a little more charges. Right. Urn of Soul actually around top of doable. The challenge just speak for itself. But now I'm actually testing it. You can shoot tears if you run out. The urn is crazy good. You can shoot tears, but you don't get souls unless you kill enemies, right? Santiago, keep in mind that shooting tears is not viable for chest. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but urn only went to It Lives, right? Or no, maybe it went to Isaac. Maybe it did go to Blue Ivy, actually. I don't even remember. Hear me out. Broken Shovel Piece 1. Wait. VK might be cooking. Broken Shovel Piece 1. Where's the Broken Shovel Piece 1? I need the Broken Shovel Piece 1. I think it's this one, right? Insane! Probably like right there. It's probably, I mean, it's still really hard, but I see the maybe. I see the maybe for it. Fair enough, fair enough. I think that's a list for right now. Let's test some of these, shall we? All right, let's try Urn of Souls first. All right, so let's assume the absolute worst, right? I have no item. Oh, I forgot my controller's bugged. That's so annoying. I don't know about this one, Chief. You did say that you gain souls from shooting, right? I don't think you do. I think you do have to kill enemies like I thought. Yeah, you have to kill enemies for sure. Yeah, I'm sorry, chat. No way. It's way too inconsistent. There's just no way. I mean, this sucks, right? I mean, this room is a pretty easy chest floor. And even this, like, this is taking forever. Yeah, I think this is only good into rooms. I don't even think this ranks. I really don't. If it did give you souls while you shot, like somebody said, then I absolutely would see it. But many you're doing it wrong. You have the earlier floors to build up souls. I don't think it matters. I really don't think it does. You're gonna run out of souls even if you have max 20. Is there any way that I could like spawn enemies to like get max souls? Like let's give Urn the best case scenario here. That was the worst test. You get a room with Duke and it's completely different. This is the point, right? You're gonna get rooms like that in chest. Spawn fly. This is gonna take forever. Spawn Gaper. Can I repeat? No. This is gonna take a while. Spawn Gaper. 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 Next was enemies killed. That was like 80% of Isaac rooms. For the rest, you have to assess using your urn or not. The Mega Fatty room, by being easy, you shouldn't use the urn. But it takes forever. I do think that this room is easy in a typical run, the Mega Fatty room. But in a run where you have nothing, human error will eventually happen. Like, this is ass. I'm sorry. You know what's crazy is that that didn't even do that much. I mean, hey, look. Like, you have base stats, and I got sucked in. I couldn't even have avoided that. I was walking to the left. you know, you got base speed, then stuff like that can just happen, right? Yeah, I don't know, man. Alright, there we go. So we got some souls, so we can do this. There we go. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Let's actually move on. Let's see how it goes. It just runs out, man. That being said, I do think it's possible? Maybe? It's definitely not doable. I think it might be a maybe. But yeah, with Urn, you should have plenty of bombs saved up for chest bosses. But it's not like Epic Fetus or the other, or number 2 or anything like that, where you have infinite bombs. So any area where you would have used a bomb, you use your item. Like, you will have used bombs in this run. Like, to bomb blue fires for soul hearts. Like, bombing for soul hearts is very important, right? Or tinted rocks, or secret rooms. Like, you gotta do everything you can to get as much health as you can, right? God damn. Bro, I hate playing on D-pad so much. I asked this last time, but has anybody else had an issue with Repentance Plus with your controllers? For some reason, it doesn't let me use my D-pad well. Like, whenever I move up on D-pad, I mean on joystick, whenever I move up on joystick, like, sometimes it doesn't, yeah, look. Like, I move slowly sometimes when I move up. It's very odd. I think you guys are overrating Urn. I think this is huge Urn overrating. I mean, let's replace this. Let's be fair, right? Let's remove Urn, give Godhead. Now keep in mind this is with no tears ups. No tears ups. So this is probably still gonna be really bad, I would imagine. But look, I mean, it's way better. Look how much damage I'm doing. Hello? And the homing, so it's easier to dodge stuff. It's actually kind of crazy how much damage you do at base. This is insane. Now granted, I still have to play with D-pad. But still, like, that damage output's really good. I did play worse there, but still, like, you could see the difference. Like, you could actually protect yourself with Godhead. The Urn play is to save an Emperor card, lol. Yeah, true. Actually, so true. I will say, though, it is true that it's pretty good into rooms. It's just chest hard walls it. So, I will say, if you do get the Emperor card, let's be fair to Urn and at least give it maybe. I think that's fair. Let's just do bottom maybe. That's fair enough. Try Urn against Blue Baby. It's a whole different story. Bro, Urn doesn't even make it to Blue Baby, Garbo. Why even test Blue Baby? You don't even make it to Blue Baby with Urn. That was my whole point. Did an entire run with Urn of Souls. The crazy thing about it is I got an Emperor card in Cathedral. Yet still Isaac hard walled me. Damn! Really? So even with the Emperor card, Isaac hard walls Urn of Souls. Didn't even make it to Blue Baby. Shout out to you, Santiago. That's good to hear. We'll still leave Urn at the very bottom of maybe. Because theoretically, you could at least get a lot of damage on the final boss and then, like, slowly take it out with base tiers. Which is fair enough, I guess. But yeah, I do think it's very bottom of maybe. Yeah, you can use bombs. Give Breath of Life. Let's try it. I want to heal myself, though. Or no, can I do infinite health? Debug 3. Well, there you go. I did it myself. Insane. And then we will give Breath of Life. Alright, let's try it. So I am not good with Breath of Life, keep in mind. Victor's test is going to be a lot better than mine, but... I mean, I just did it first try. It can't be that hard, right? Well, that was a throw. Okay, hold on. Again, this is one of those things where it's like, you definitely have to get used to it. Like, I'm not going to give a very accurate portrayal here. I wanted to know if you could actually do it into a tier, actually. It is hard, though. I mean, in rooms like these, like, it's kind of hard to approach. It's possible maybe we are overrating it just because... it might not be as good in... Okay, you can do it on tiers. You know what? That changed... No, it is still pretty damn good. Oh, the timing is tough, though, I will say. I hit D-pad. It's such a cool item, though, I will say. I'm glad that they buffed it so much. I mean, look how much damage it does. If you get good at this, it's actually just better damage than Knife or Spirit Sword, I'm pretty sure. In fact, you can do it on tiers, too. Like, the moment you get used to this, it's kind of insane. Look at this! I just one-shot him! It's actually not that hard once you do it for a little bit. I just did that. What was that? Like, actually, what was that? Hello? That was awesome. Okay. Ooh, I don't have the infinite health anymore. Damn. I don't know what happened. Now I want to test it as well. It seems really fun. It's a really fun item for sure. Look at this damage! Hello? Like, and again, I'm very aware that I'm not good with this item, but like, I feel like if I use it for a full run or two, I think I'm gonna have enough practice to actively do an entire run with it. I mean, hell, like, let's say we get a trinket, right? Okay, well, that was me messing up. But I mean, hell, it's like, it's some damage at least, you know? Okay, this is pretty tough, actually. Oof, that was rough. Well, you know, at least we killed an enemy with it, right? I think enemies is where it gets a little tough, admittedly. Because they're a little bit more unpredictable. It is kind of just a boss murderer, though. I mean, the fact that, like, you get the timing on enemy rooms, it definitely does require practice, though. I think realistic skill is important to take note of here. It is so powerful, and it deserves a high placement for power alone. Like, it's actually the strongest item on the list, I think. I mean, come on. It took me forever to actually do that, keep in mind, but when you get it, it's over, bro. It's actually just over. What the fudge? No items, by the way. It's pretty hard to do it on a tier, honestly. It's cool that you can do it, but... I kind of want to try doing runs with this, honestly. It's so good! It's unbelievable. Oh my god. Keep in mind, you also get the min-max value. I mean, you can use this on blood donuts and stuff still, I'm pretty sure. It does so much damage. I think we I mean, if we're doing top 5, maybe it does still deserve to be at the bottom of top 5 at least. Plus, you get a support trinket like this, Famine. Gives you a lot more time to time your shots against him. To be fair, I could just shoot him, but... And keep in mind, like, you know, you still get some damage off the one beam when you mess up. Like, that's not terrible damage. I mean, you use tears to, like, finish off a little bit when it barely doesn't kill. This is absurd. It does so much damage. Alright, final boss of the run, by the way. See how many hits I take. Damn. Alright, first hit. Oh, I missed? Damn. Alright, once he starts spawning, like, enemies and stuff, it actually becomes pretty annoying, I think. I think maybe it should go to the very top of the... of doable. It does require a lot of skill, I think. Like, even after practicing. But yeah, just try to keep in mind, like, I don't have... Oh, right. I forgot it starts damaging you if you hold it for too long. This is the definition of a get good item. That's hard. God, honestly, this item could even rank high if you got good at using it. Like, in the all items list, even. Because it is actually just invincibility. And it does so much damage. Damn. I feel like it's even harder to hit tiers than I would expect. There we go. In contrast, let's compare it to the other top 5 items, right? Give Spirit Sword. Alright. I didn't even charge. Oh! Wait, does it not? No, it does. Oh, okay, but it's just not as forgiving as I thought it was. Okay, I see. Spin attack might be more important for this fight than I realized it was. Oh shit, I lost my debug. Those are pretty hard. I mean, like I said, item was as hard with any item. We could try a mom's knife as well. Yeah, spin attack is definitely the play. Here, let me try one more time with Spirit Sword, I think. I mean, knocking back his tears back into him, I assumed does, like, okay damage, too. Yeah, I mean, that gives some range, right? Yeah, I think you just play it slow and don't focus as much on spamming. This is a lot better. I mean, I haven't taken a hit yet. But then the moment he gets to the homing tears, it's over. See, like, Blue Baby right now is proving why Spoonbender should be insane. Let me stop. God damn. See, the moment that Blue Baby got the Spoonbender on deck, he starts dicking me. I'm just saying. I'm just saying the reasoning is sound. I was doing great until he ran up with the Spoonbender. Let's try one more time with the sword. I'll try a little bit more spam. Making real big use out of this slowdown. Woo! Okay, yeah, so this is the point where... Yeah, it's the... I'm telling you, the homing is so hard to deal with without range. Because in order to dodge the homing tiers, you basically need to stay far away. Because if you're too close when they shoot out, they're going to hit you. It's funny, I think they're comparable in first phase of Blue Baby, but the moment he hits that Spoonbender phase, it's over. That range is so much more relevant there. By the way, I feel like I was underrating this Locust. What is this, Locust of Famine? So Locust of Famine kind of nice with it, though, for Trinket tier list. I think Spirit Sword's slightly better on the ads because of the spin attack, but, like, it doesn't really matter because, like, the extra range is so much more important on Knife. Ah! I think you just really need to make good use of the spin attack on the homing shots. I mean, this fight's taking so much longer. Like, even if I can win this, which I think I can for sure, but... I gotta say, though, spin attack's great into the ads. You could actually just, like, destroy them all in one slash. That's kind of a good representation of how good it is into rooms. You can just run into a room and instantly spin attack everything. Yeah, I think the spin attack's honestly underrated. It's really useful. Damn! That spoon shot really ran up. Let's try with Knife. This might actually make Knife rank higher if this becomes, like, significantly easier with Knife, honestly. Remove Spirit, Sword, give Mom's Knife. Oh, I'm gonna test Salvation as well. I gotta get used to the range on it. Ironically enough, I actually think Knife is better into the ads for this specific fight. Maybe. Actually, maybe not. No, I mean, What's the range, really? Oh, shoot. God damn, maybe not. I think the spin attack actually made it a little easier into the ads. Maybe. God, it feels like he's just spawning a lot more this attempt. Am I wrong? It looks like I'm doing better, though. Right? Who would have guessed that range is actually really useful? This might actually make Knife go above Spirit Sword for me. Maybe. I mean, the room point is still pretty massive for Spirit Sword. But it's possible I was overrating Spirit Sword, right? I almost won. I can definitely win that. Like, no doubt. Woo! That Spoonbender, man, it's insane. I will say this fight feels actually significantly easier with Knife. I think the range is a lot more relevant than I gave it credit for. Aw, damn! Well, we did kill him at least. I think Knife actually might need to go above. I didn't realize how much better Knife was into bosses. I was definitely underrating it. I think what it was is, honestly, I wasn't underrating Knife. I definitely was not underrating Knife. I was overestimating Sword. I actually thought Sword was better into bosses than it actually is. I think VK might have been right, honestly. I mean, just like killing the boss this much quicker, like, it just means you're gonna have a lot more success. And I mean, hell, this item's even safer anyway because of the extra range. So like, if it does more damage and is safer, then it's no contest, right? Granted, it's not as safe in the rooms. I feel still pretty confident about that. But who knows, right? Maybe it is, because the range is still a factor in rooms, you know? Like, especially in big rooms. Knife is crazy, man. I had a hit to spare, too. I think Knife does go above Spirit Sword. I think Sword is better for most of the run, though. Is it that much better? Because I agree. I do think Spirit Sword's better in the rooms. But if Knife can also carry into the rooms... Okay, I'll put it this way. Spirit Sword's actually hard in that fight. Whereas I don't think Knife is necessarily hard into rooms. I just think it's harder than Spirit Sword. But Knife feels a lot easier than Spirit Sword into bosses than I realized. Like, I thought that the gap was a lot closer than I realized. Never bring a sword to a spoonbender fight. So true, Fuzzy Nuts. We all know spoonbender's better than sword and knife. Am I right? Let me stop before, like, Turt hears and, like, gets butthurt. I swear. This is the only floor you need to worry about, and still there. Well, chest is the hardest floor in the run. And, like, honestly, it doesn't matter. Like, chest, we may as well chest. It's the hardest part of the run, and you have to beat it anyway. All the other floors are only easier, so what's the point of testing them? If you could do the earlier floors, then who cares, right? Oh, I want to do Salvation. Let's do that. Wow. Are you serious? Okay, well, this is the easy part of the fight, to be fair. Wait, was I sleeping on this item? This item's kind of crazy. What the fudge? Wait, this item's crazy! That was awesome! That was first try. Wait. How much damage does Breath of Life do? Does it do more? No, I think it's the same. Yeah, I think it's actually the same. Wait, you actually don't even need to get that close. Wait, were we underrating Salvation? This item's kind of crazy. The ring gets bigger. Yeah, so how does the ring getting bigger work? Is it just the more you do it, the bigger it gets? And is it for that room or for the entire floor? That's Breath of Life without the invincibility and timing thing. Yeah, I think it's actually just easier Breath of Life. I feel like this seems really good into enemies too. Am I crazy? At the very least, we all know Salvation's better than Breath of Life, right? I just tested it. They do the same amount of damage. So if Salvation is easier to activate than Breath of Life, then obviously it's better. What's the argument? More damage. Oh, the more damage you take, the bigger it gets for the floor? Wait! That's so good! Wait for a second. Wait just 1 second. So if I take some damage... Let's take some damage, right? Okay, so we took some damage, right? And it keeps it. We'll just assume I got a speed up pill at some point. And it's just bigger for the fight. Dude! This isn't even that many hits that I took. Oh my god, I was so sleeping on Salvation. I didn't even know it got bigger the more damage you took. I might be able to do this hitless even. And it works on enemies well too? There's only some damage, by the way. You probably take more damage than what I took, honestly. And you'll take damage mid-fight, and it'll still be... Okay, look, so I just took some damage, so it's a little bit bigger, right? I wonder how big it does get. Is there a cap? I assume there's a cap. Look how big the ring is! Oh my god! Bro, this item is sick! Does it scale with your damage? I gotta see that. This is important for the all items list. Hold on. Hold on! If it doesn't scale with your damage, it's probably just okay on the items list. The initial beam of light does 3.5 damage per tick, up to 15 times, and the others deal 1.75 damage per tick. Okay, to be fair, it does not copy your damage stat. So in the all items list, it's probably just like, okay. Because like, why even bother with getting close to an enemy in a normal run when you could just like have max range and kill everything? That being said, on an itemless run? I mean, that is insane. Even at base, when taking no hits, Salvation is easier to activate than Breath of Life. So already it was instantly higher than Breath of Life. But then you add on the fact that it gets bigger the more you get hit? What? That is bonkers. Breath of Life also has utility values. And that's true. But I'm sorry, like, ease of use definitely, like, destroys here. Like, I win this with 4 hearts 99% of the time. With 4 hearts! When do I lose this fight? I almost wonder if this is better than Lemegeton. Because, like, hear me out, right? You have this same damage, like, great damage output for the entire run. It gets stronger the more you get hit. Whereas, with Lemegeton, you always have that risk of losing your Wisps. The risk of Breath of Life is mistiming, right? Is skill issuing. Honestly, I'm doing it. I'm actually doing it. I think my logic is sound. Salvation is easy into enemy rooms, I theorize. I mean, I don't see why it would be any harder to hit enemies with it. It gets better the more damage you take. And it's already pretty easy to hit, even without already having taken damage. That was the first test I did. And you have no risk of losing your Wisps either. You just always do good damage. What a bonkers item. What a I did not think there'd be something to pass Lemegeton. I slept on this item hard. Mad props to Salvation. Great job. That's Lil Gurdy, because I think it does insane damage at high velocity. Alright. I mean, hey, for Mudkip, right? For Mudkip, we gotta test Lil Gurdy, then we'll test Revelation. Remove Salvation, give Lil Gurdy. Wait, Baby Bender, Lil Gurdy. Let's get it. I don't know if this works. Okay, no, it doesn't work. But that would have been cool. Oh no. I don't think the damage is there. No. No, Lil Gurdy. Wait, chat. Hear me out. All right, Turt's on vacation right now. Right? All right. Turt's on vacation right now, right? So y'all know how on the all items list, he memed on me and acted like Bumfriend was like high in the tier list? Okay, I'm gonna post this tier list into the Discord. And I just want everybody to act, like, if you're in the Discord, act like Lil Gurdy was insane in testing. Like, we tested Lil Gurdy item lists, and it destroyed. Like, that'd be so funny, bro. I'm just gonna do the, what's it called? The Lil Bum. I'm gonna see if I can get away with the meme. Like everybody's been hard underrating Lil Gurdy, bro. Lil Gurdy's insane. Now, I'm doing pretty good so far, but keep in mind that this phase is always easy. The bomb. Insane. Yeah, everybody in the Discord just act like Lil Gurdy like was insane item list. Is unironically at the top of the list. I feel like I could do this if I was more patient, but I'm just too impatient, honestly. Okay, unironically, Lil Gurdy into enemy rooms, pause. This is kind of a good showcase as to why on the all items list, I keep saying that items like Mom's Knife are lower tier and insane than people are giving them credit for, because like, just look how much easier it is for me to dodge when I could just stay across the room, you know? Like, imagine this in a big boss fight room. Yes, the fight's taking a lot longer, but, like, it's much safer. Now, granted, obviously, this fight is always easier with Mom's Knife than Lil Gurdy, obviously. But I just mean, like, when you're comparing, like, a tier build to a Mom's Knife build, like, it is pretty relevant, right? Because a lot of tier builds will inevitably get debatably even stronger depending on your synergies. This is actually a pretty good showcase of that, because, I mean, look how long I'm able to survive and just not take hits. It's like I'm trying, like, I'm commentating and everything. Like, it's just way easier when you can stay range, you know? I probably could do it. I'm just like, I'm too impatient. Look, we'll all meme on turret. It'll be great, all right? Victor too. Look, Victor, make like some... Victor, please add Lil Gurdy to the DPS test. Add Lil Gurdy to the DPS test and say something like at max velocity does like 80 damage or something like ridiculous, but not too crazy. You know, you gotta make it at least a little believable. Is better on this boss? You think Revelation's better on this boss? We could test that. Because honestly, if Revelation's easy on this boss, I could actually see Revelation above Breath of Life due to ease of use, and obviously Flight's really nice for utility. C643. There you go. Okay, let's get it. Now, the crazy thing about Revelation is that we get to have all the same max range that that Lil Gurdy just showed was really strong, but with actual good damage. Man, Lil Gurdy would have already beat this fight. SMH does like 1,000 damage per second at max velocity. Yeah, definitely a lot slower than Knife and Sword. And way slower than Salvation. But it is a lot safer. And you know what? Being safer is very important, right? The max range does a lot. Like, even more so than Mom's Knife. Like, if Blue Baby, like, on his future phase, goes across the room, even Mom's Knife kind of struggled. I definitely had to get a little bit closer. And that's risky against the Spoonbender tiers. Oh, and Revelation into the ads, too. So OP. Because I think the ads are honestly the hardest part of this fight. Probably. And the Spoonbender tiers, obviously. I will say, though, its damage output is way less. Just because it's meant to copy your damage stat. It's like, it's comparable to Brim, right, in terms of damage. I mean, this is very doable. I haven't even taken a hit yet, right? Yeah, I mean, and this furthers my point even more. Like, yes, I killed this boss so much quicker with Knife, even Sword, even Salvation, but like, I mean, come on. I think I'm about to do this fight hitless. Range is very important in this game. I actually think, like, I kind of want to, like, fight for higher placements on range in the all items list. Just because, like, when you have low range, range does kind of have a similar effect to speed. Like, when you have low speed, getting that speed up is, like, so insane. And I think it's the same for range, honestly. Like, I think turret definitely underrates range ups quite a bit. Like, range is really good, especially in combination with other items. We finally took a hit on Fort. Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, it is slow, no doubt. But, like, it's kind of hard to argue. Like, that was pretty good. Genuinely worse than Lil Gurdy. Damage kind of booty. The damage is booty, but it was free. The fight was much more free than Lil Gurdy because it was much easier to destroy all the ads. And it's just a lot easier to hit a huge light beam that you control while moving rather than, like, letting go of Lil Gurdy in a very specific velocity path. So the fact that all the previous attempts would be even crazier before Repentance Plus because he had no boss armor, true. I feel like Lil Brim would be doing more here. Lil Brim? You think so? Do we feel it's still top of tier? I think so. I actually felt like that was a good showing of its power. I didn't think it was going to be too much more damage. I think y'all are damage pilled a little bit too much. It has max range. It is free. It was an easy fight. Like, you don't have to kill a boss quick. I mean, killing a boss quick is obviously like... Killing a boss quick comes with asterisks, right? If the fight is more dangerous, like it is with Knife or Spirit Sword, then, you know, it's debatable, right? Because I was gonna say, like, I actually feel like Revelation kind of deserves top 5 after that fight. I feel like that was a good showing. Like, yes, it doesn't have as much damage, but it was way safer. Like, I took less hits with Revelation than Sword or Knife. Hell, even Salvation. Granted, Salvation's so strong and easy enough that it kind of makes up for it. Revelation, give Maw. Oh, shoot. Dude. Come on, I knew I wasn't capping. This item is ass. Y'all were all overrating Maw. Alright, now, I know that okay. And yes, I'm aware that this damage is, like, maybe even slightly better than Revelation. But the problem here is that it's a difference of context. Maw, I need to get close to do that. I knew I wasn't underrating Maw. Y'all were overrating Maw. Get the frick out of here. Now, granted, I still think it's undoable, but still. Maw's way better into rooms. Not than Revelation! I mean, to be fair, I think most people know that Revelation's just better Maw, but still. Revelation's way better into rooms. I actually wonder if Brim is better than this. Because of max range. Like in an itemless run. I mean, sure, I get to shoot my tiers, but like, my tiers are basically doing nothing here. Yeah, like, when you have to get close to hit, those Spoonbender tiers are gonna be instantly way more dangerous than something like Revelation, right? And it's harder to get close up to kill the ads. Wow, that was embarrassing. That was honestly embarrassing. I was sure that Maw of the Void would at least do way more damage than Revelation. But that damage was like comparable to Revelation, and Revelation was a million times safer. I'm instantly convinced. I mean, I still think it's good into rooms, and this is still doable tier. Don't get it twisted. But like, I really thought the damage was higher. Definitely not better than number 2. It's not even close. I think I'd rather have the damage up from these, honestly. I think Blue Candle performs better. I think Sacred Heart probably performs better. I think so. That was surprising, honestly. It's still doable. I mean, it definitely is. If you play better, then you can beat Blue Baby there, but that was like Mom's Knife if it just didn't have the damage. You know what I mean? And without the damage, like without the ability to damage tank like you can with Mom's Knife. I mean, sorry, without the ability to nuke like Mom's Knife, damage tanking is nowhere near as useful. Like, Mom's Knife needs that damage, and Maw, in this scenario, needed the damage, but it just doesn't have it. I think this is fair. I want to test Epic Fetus. But yeah, just so y'all get a good idea. I just did the fight hitless. I know you couldn't see it, but it's really free. It actually is. Because the explosives are just so big, they break all the ads, right? Aw. Okay, that was a little unfortunate. Alright, of course. You see, like, it was the Let's Play curse, and I didn't even know that it was the Let's Play curse, because I wasn't recording the screen and I played like a god gamer. But the moment I show it, I take way more damage. But yeah, so what I was getting at before, Revelation can aim diagonally, but the fact that Epic Fetus, you can aim wherever and still, like, it's not as awkward, right? When you aim diagonally with Revelation, you need to be standing a certain distance from him, but you actually have full freedom of movement with Epic Fetus, and that's actually insane. And especially a fight like this, too. Because I can just, like, keep spamming shots, and I don't miss any shot here. I think we were hard underrating Epic Fetus, actually. Yeah, we were hard underrating it. I'm going to test Star Bethlehem, but I think Epic Fetus definitely deserves top 5. It's so easy to hit. You never are realistically going to damage yourself. Freedom of movement. I actually argued before that Epic Fetus is probably stronger than Spirit, Sword, and Knife, and I think that makes sense. Freedom of movement into any boss in the game. You could skip any room you want ever. The damage is great, and even if the damage isn't as good as Knife, it's way safer than Knife. Like, way safer than Knife. Yeah, that actually makes sense to me. Fair enough. Looking at the gameplay, what he is saying makes sense. Yeah, it's true. With Revelation, even though you can aim diagonally, you'd have to stand in a specific area while the beam is coming out, and you need to stay in that area. So there's way less mobility if you want to get your max DPS out. Whereas with Epic Fetus, you're always getting your max DPS no matter how much you're moving. You have super freedom of movement. Epic Fetus top 1 of item list, absolute bottom of funness list. I love Epic Fetus. Damage is more than I expected. Yeah, Epic Fetus is really good. Like, it's so good, especially considering how free it is. Max range, full freedom of movement. There's honestly no weakness to Epic Fetus, and that's why on the all items list, I also think it's higher than Knife. Epic Fetus is really good. And infinite bombs, by the way. So you get full utility of bombs. And that means you can save infinite bombs if you want to, like, double place bombs to get even more DPS. like hell. Technically, it is not unrealistic to say that you have like 50 bombs or more if you had Epic Fetus the entire run. Give Pyro. So you could unironically do something like this, right? If you want to supplement your DPS a little bit more. Now granted, this is a little bit harder and probably a little unnecessary, but like you're gonna have way more bombs in an Epic Fetus run because you're saving bombs the entire time. So like you have a lot more ability to spam them. Granted, you're honestly just better off just spamming Epic Fetus because it's way safer. But you can do it if you really want the extra damage like Mom's Knife provides, right? It is just way easier though to just freaking spam Epic Fetus. But you can technically kill the fight quicker if you do that. It's just so free. Okay, that was lag, alright? That was 100% lag. I know y'all saw it. That was 100% lag. Don't say anything. But yeah, that was really good though. I think Epic Fetus definitely deserves above Sword and Knife after testing that. I think Revelation's damage is a little bit too low, but the beam is really strong. I think the damage of the early game saving you health with Knife and Sword is still better than Revelation. Even though the final boss is probably easier with Revelation than Knife and Sword, I think the flat out just more massive damage output of Sword and Knife will save you way more health into the late game anyway, so I think it's fine to still have them a tier above Revelation. It's fine. Epic Fetus is buff Ludo. I was actually just thinking that creature. It's funny, because, like, I think the biggest weakness of Ludo is that there's, like, the damage output is not nearly as much as it needs to be to make up for the fact that you can't defend yourself. But Epic Fetus stops that from literally being able to bomb out the room, a much bigger hitbox, way more explosive damage, also way better synergies, debatably. Try Epic Fetus into rooms. Now, Epic Fetus is weak into rooms, but you could skip rooms. So, in an itemless scenario where there's not nearly as much reasoning to min-max anyway, yeah, I absolutely think it's on top of those. Now, to be fair, I am biased towards Epic Fetus. It is my favorite item in the game. Having Fetus item or Ipecac means bomb beggars are useful because you weren't using those bombs anyway. Good point. Test Black Powder in this fight. I probably should, actually. Remove Epic Fetus. Give Black Powder. I hate this item. I'm just saying, by the way, I feel a little bad because I can't use my joystick right now, so it's even worse right now. I'm gonna have to D-pad Black Powder. Alright, whatever. This is ass! No! No! For actually needing to try to do something, this is ass, dude. Like, the moment this gets to the harder phases, no way. Like, you can't circle quick enough while also being safe. This is my whole point against Black Powder in the tier lists. Like, it's way too situational to find a situation where you can unironically use Black Powder without getting hit. Like, how do I actually? Like, literally, how do I actually Black Powder here? I actually don't get it. Like, it was good at the beginning of the fight because he's not shooting as much stuff, but yeah. I knew Black Powder was not even worth putting on the list. That item is trash, I'm sorry. Assume the player took 15 speed up builds. And I already gave myself Blood Bag too. Like, imagine if we had the base speed, you know? Let's finally test Star of Beth. How do I restart the chest floor? I guess I can just use Forget Me Now. Give Star of Beth and then remove the GOAT Black Powder. Because, I mean, we don't want Black Powder to carry and skew the results, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's fine. We can test this Blue Baby really quick, I guess. But again, this is not the issue. Huh! You know what? Okay, to be fair, he does have the slowdown tier. Oh, wait, no. For some reason, I thought Star of Bethlehem was causing his slowdown tiers. I was like, wait, that's an effect I didn't know about Star of Bethlehem. That's kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie, this kind of sucks! Wait, I didn't think this would be bad. I thought this was gonna be free. Bro, was this item super overhyped? You just have to get way too close. Yo, we're hard overhyping. Guys, this is kind of bad. This is insanely bad. I actually thought it was gonna be OP. Like, I actually thought it was gonna be the easiest fight of every test. Swear. I even said, like, there's no point in testing Blue Baby because I thought I was gonna nuke it. I was about to forget me now, too. I was like, there's no point. That was the worst. Lil Gurdy performed better than Star of Bethlehem. Lil Gurdy unironically performed better than Star of Bethlehem. What the fudge? Is there even a point? I mean, I'll test the rooms as well, because maybe I could just put this item into the dirt. What the fudge? Like, even on all items list, I'm going to bring this point up. On a lot of bosses, it just kind of sucks. It's super overrated. And I have the slowdown of this trinket too, so that actually makes this beginning part. And you know what else? Even when I'm running up here at the beginning, I'm not doing that much damage. I feel like Mom's Knife out-damages this. Am I crazy? Like, I thought it was going to out-damage, like, everything. Yeah, its damage multiplier isn't even that high, chat. Now, granted, this does synergize a lot better with this is just not a good all items. I mean, no items item. I actually think y'all picked a bad item to hype up for itemless. Like, look at the... Okay, really quick. Look at the stats that I get. Shoot. Look at the stats that I get from Star of Beth. That's it. I mean, granted, my tier rate's really good, but my damage is not. Like, this is not that great as an itemless item. Like, I actually don't even think you nuke rooms with this. I really don't. And then you just have to deal with base damage. Wait, let's try it. All right, let's find out. We're gonna test. I don't mean to be that guy, but I think y'all Star of Bethlehem users are not gonna like the results. Now it does go really slow, so you could definitely kill a room like this, for sure. But I think certain rooms can definitely give you some trouble. Yeah, I mean, look, I was trying to beat that as quick as possible, and I couldn't pick up the key or anything. And look, this is exactly what I mean. You just don't have enough time to kill certain bosses. And now, that's all the damage I got. And now I'm just back to itemless. No benefit. Because, I mean, honestly, if this is how Star of Bethlehem is, I probably would have needed to use bombs a lot more in different rooms before. It's funny. I think Urn is better than Star of Bethlehem. I feel like Urn did more damage to them. And at least it was somewhat sustainable from, like, poop enemies that would spawn. Urn beats Star. I actually think it does. Here, better test. Remove Star of Beth. Give Sacred Heart. So way less tier rate. I have a little bit more damage. But guess what? I don't have to stay in a specific area. So I have way more dodge ability. I can just take my time, stay far away. That's another point. If I want to stay in the Star of Bethlehem, then I just have way less dodge ability. I need to be confined to this very specific space if I want to get my max DPS out of it. I have full dodge ability, and my damage is good the entire time. And there's no worry. I will mention, Star of Bethlehem is better with items. I think this is a good showcase of why I think Spoonbender is possibly better than Star of Bethlehem. Because, like, I think that's actually a test run we might need to do. Because with Star of Bethlehem, it does literally just give you stats and max tier rate. I mean, past tier cap, which is very important. And when you actually have items, you do nuke a lot better and can more reasonably nuke rooms along with the Star of Bethlehem. Like, you actually follow it better because you just kill so much quicker. But I'm wondering if I'd rather have that or just the reliability of always having homing. I don't know. It's actually tough. Like in an all items run. Now, no items. This item is actually ass. Y'all were capping. I think this item is a fall short, but close. I think Urn of Souls has better run carry ability. I think Proptosis and Deadeye are easier too, because you always have the effect. Magic Mush is probably better too, to be honest. To be honest. These items aren't really ranked too specifically, to be fair. That is truly insane. I did not expect that. Who the frick is Mr. Stitches? Deadass, I think Stitches should be. Maybe the Telefrag is comparable to Bob's Brain. I didn't even know you could Telefrag the fudge. How's that work? Stitches is one of those items that I flat out don't use, and I'm not afraid to admit it. Remove Sacred Heart. Give Stitches. Damn! Bro, I was hard underrating this item! What? What is happening? I didn't know you could do this! Now, granted, those are gurglings, but like... Oh my god, I wasn't showing the game! No! Chat, that was such a good showcase, too. I'm so mad. Okay, keep in mind, I fought like 5 gurglings and one-shot all of them with Telefrag. But then I did this other room, and here I noticed... Okay, the Telefrag doesn't one-shot... Okay, that was just dumb. The Telefrag doesn't one-shot big like HP bosses like this, but it does some solid damage. And it does contact damage. Like a little bit. Not much, but... One-shots normal enemies. Bro, I was hard underrating this item. I thought it was like a nothing item. I legit thought this item was like mainly just like a meme and like meant to be used for like those weird crawl spaces that spawn the item like in that other like area or whatever. Is this doable? Like, is this actually doable tier? Bro, Mal really ran up with teaching me all about items. All these irrelevant ass items. I mean, the damage is there. Look at this. This is like indisputable. And it's like, it gives enough invincibility frames. Okay, I missed. Dude, I'm gonna start using this in runs, like seriously. Shout out to Mal. Real talk. Yeah, I don't even take explosion damage. Charge time's pretty forgiving too. In big rooms, it's a little bit disorienting, admittedly, when you teleport to like an area that jumps the screen. It blows my mind how much damage this actually does. It kills like every single enemy in one shot. It one-shot Gurglings. Just like actually one-shots a boss, technically. Oh shoot. Am I the only one that was just like hard underrating this item? I flat out just never used it like this before. This is like easy. Like actually easy. Also, I never realized these things had an explosion attack. I usually just nuke these things. Oh my god, okay. Okay, this is a pretty good example of a rune that's kind of bad for it. But I mean, at least you let them group up. No, maybe it is still good. I'm a little annoyed at how good this is. Because I've never known how good this item was. I mean, to be fair, in an actual items list, you have other items. This is probably a little unnecessary to actively use this. But I don't know, its base damage is kind of bonkers. Alright, let's try it. Screw it. That was bad. Alright, I just gotta be, like, really safe, I think. Okay, that was bad. There's a little bit of Ludo issues with this item, I think. Its damage is legitimately good, though. Tell me why Stitches just outperformed Star of Bethlehem. Tell me why Stitches just outperformed Star of Bethlehem! No! I didn't even have the health that I had for Star of Bethlehem either. And the iframe. The iframes are crazy, right? Okay, now no slowdown. We could try it out. The iframes are really good. Okay, that was just a skill issue. I just gotta focus. Okay, I gotta honestly look more at me. Honestly, when I look more at me and just like... Oh, shoot. There definitely is issues here. But I think it's doable tier. I really think it's doable. The damage is there. The iframes are really useful. It's kind of easy to do, honestly. I mean, this is my first time ever knowing that this even did this. And I'm like about to kill Blue Baby itemless. Okay, the hitbox isn't as insanely big as you might think it is. But it's really just not that bad. I think it actually suffers in hordes. Somebody said that it would be good into the flies. I think the flies are what makes that fight actually really hard. Because wasting a TP on the flies feels really bad. But you kind of need to, I feel like, in order to win. Oh, I have an idea. Here's a good idea, chat. Does this work? Is this a synergy? Pause. Watch this. Oh, shoot. Okay, this is going to take a little bit of getting used to, but... Stop. God Gamer? Come on, dude! Come on! Free bomb placements! It's like one of the only issues of placing bombs. They have to get super close. And now it's not even a worry because the iframes. I just did that first try when using bombs. And you could save bombs for the whole run. Because guess what? You also save a lot of utility with stitches because it's basically flight, right? Like any area where you would have needed to use a bomb to like bomb a rock to go over a pit, you could just stitches instead. And it's actually not that hard to do the bomb tech. Yeah, now that I know how to do it, it's kind of easy. Okay, I messed up there though. And the bombs make dealing with the flies a lot easier. Like, I mean, it may seem like it's just bombs that are causing this, but I would not be able to place this many bombs as easily without stitches. Like, to me, this is a showcase of stitches, not bombs. You cannot place bombs that easily without those iframes. Like, let me just try to beat this fight with only bombs really quick. And this actually might lower the placement of Pyro, too, if this is hard. I definitely forgot at the beginning that I could shoot bombs. Don't worry about it. So it's definitely harder, but it is... Well, no, the flies actually make it a lot harder. Oh my god. Okay, that was just bad. The spoon, I do think I played really badly there. I actually think I can do it because of shooting bombs. But yeah, I think the Stitch's teleport, extra damage as well, was kind of massive for this fight too. And this fight's significantly harder only using bombs. And keep in mind, I'm using way more bombs as well. Like, I might not have that many bombs. I was able to do this with like 10 bombs with Stitches. But now this is going to take like at least 20, maybe like 25, borderline 30. Probably more like 20, but still. Really think Pyro is impossible? Like, not even close? You will run out in womb. I don't see it at all. You know what? Fair enough. Let's change Pyro's ranking. I think I agree. I think you will run out. Just seeing how many bombs I used in just that blue baby fight. Like, remember we have to fight Isaac too. Like, Isaac is basically going to take like around the same amount of bombs. Maybe a little bit less because of included boss armor now. Pyro is... Okay, to be fair, it is already in maybe. Do I think it's impossible? Okay, you know what it is? The problem is Urn of Souls in maybe. Urn of Souls is not a maybe. I'm sorry. It just isn't. Let's put it below money equals power. I think that makes sense. The bomb tech is still there, but it is true. Like, you're going to use up your bombs. You just have to play really well into the early game and really, like, preserve your bombs. I do honestly think Pyro is easier than Star of Beth. Bro, Star of Beth suffers so much into Isaac and Blue Baby. It is pretty close to top 5. Bro, I think it's awesome. We have found something, chat. Shout out to Mal, by the way. I hard underrated Stitches. Where the hell is Stitches? I didn't even put it on this list. I didn't even put it on this list. I thought he was capping. This is awesome, by the way, chat. Thanks for hanging out, y'all. It's been fun testing these items. I did not expect some of these. Seriously. I still think Epic Fetus is easier. I do. I think we're going to rename top 5 to just kind of free. And I'll put Revelation in there too. Because I honestly do think Revelation is kind of free. We could just say super doable. Insanely doable. Insanely doable. Insanely doable. It's so funny that Stitches is above Knife and Sword. But, like, am I cooking? I mean, we've seen the data. Lil Stitches is kind of cracked. Why the frick is cock bottom and maybe? Because you basically need to get huge growth, or maybe even if you highball and get, like, a strength card and a devil card in the same floor to use both of them in the same room, which is, like, you know, a pretty good scenario. Or hell, even if you somehow got Empress, Devil, and Strength in the same room, I still think that would be a really hard run. Because you need more than just stats in this game. You really do. Now, if you get a lot of stats with something like, say, Keeper Sack or False PhD, then that's different. But, like, just a Strength plus Devil card is not enough to beat the entire run. It just isn't. Rename Lil Gurdy tier to free. Free! I will. That's so funny. Free! Free. It's free! It's free. It's free, Lil Gurdy. I still think Breath of Life has a skill issue problem. I do still think, like, if you practice it enough, that it could even debatably go above all of these items in Insanely Doable. Well, not Salvation. I actually think Salvation, even if you're super good with Breath of Life, how could you possibly argue that Breath of Life is better than Salvation? Unless you're literally a computer. I think that's the only argument, if you're a computer. I don't think it's actually possible to legitimately think that Breath of Life is better than Salvation. Because Salvation can also do it against multiple enemies at the same time. It's kind of crazy. Oh no, I was low-balling rock bottom, not high-balling. Oh! Well, I think it's fair enough where it is. To be fair, you know, you probably will get... It's also important to note that pills are very important in this format. Being able to turn every single bad pill into, like, a nothing effect, kind of massive, honestly. Because, like, getting a tears down is, like, run ending instantly, basically. And, like, negating that on top of, you know, obviously the high roll scenarios with rock bottom that you can get, really cool. Plus... any trinket that you get is also viable, right? With rock bottom. If you get curved horn, you could pick up curved horn and then drop it again for a different trinket, and you still keep the damage up from curved horn. That's pretty good, you know? Granted, that won't stack with strength if you do it in the same room, unless you do it in the same room, but you could do it in the same room, hypothetically. Same with cancer. Same with any trinket that gives you stats. Hell, like you could run like freaking rainbow worm for a little bit until you get all the stats that you want out of it. Rock bottom, like there's just so many ways to get the stats out of it. It's kind of crazy. Overrating stacking from Keeper's Sack, going to be buying a few sack, bombs, batteries, and no items. It wouldn't add up to much. It'd be comparable to Magic Mustache, maybe. I think it'd still be more. Remember, we're starting with the item. I will always argue you will get at least one restock shop, and I think restock shop will help a lot. That being said, I'm actually not fully against moving it to maybe. Because I do actually agree that not being able to buy the passive items is kind of rough. I actually think it might be more comparable to Rock Bottom now the more I think about it. You can definitely high roll with it, though. Let's put false PhD. Maw was disappointing, I'm not gonna lie. Let's put it above Maw. Okay, this feels good. I really like this list that we've gotten. I do feel like all of these insanely doable items are legitimately just really good. We could actually move false PhD down a little bit too. Explosivo isn't on the list. It might belong there. I don't actually even need to test Explosivo. I know for a fact that Explosivo suffers on many enemies. That being said, if you get lucky, it could at least be a maybe. Low maybe, there you go. Actually, probably above Mega Mush. That makes sense. That's fine. All right, that felt good. I really feel like we got some good data here. Shoutouts to y'all, chat. I unironically think this is a fair list. Like, I really do. To be fair, I could still see Stitches below Knife and Spirit Sword. But I don't know, man. Stitches was way easier for the bosses. I unironically think Stitches struggles most in rooms. I think Stitch is actually kind of goated in bosses. And even in rooms, like, it does one-shot most rooms. It just kind of takes some getting used to. Incredible list. Thank you all so much for watching. GG's, everyone. GG's. Later, manners. Bye. Or.